So we are recording to the cloud. Let's go ahead and hit live on YouTube. No, nobody gets any freebie tonight. We're gonna go straight to it.
Go have a wheel tonight.
Oh yes, definitely. We got some serious things to give away.
Yeah, I saw the $25 gift certificate. Was there a couple shirts as well, or
we got a shirt, a couple of .coms. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool.
When's the last spin?
Why do you need to go?
Kinda.
What time do you need to go?
By 9:30, I guess.
Oh, I want to have everything spun out and done by 8. I mean, we're gonna
Okay, perfect. Well, okay, we're in different time zones. So yeah, 8:30 for you. An hour and a half. Hour and a half at the latest. Okay. An hour would be good.
Did you guys see I plugged in the show today on Facebook? No, I put my little PR thing in there.
All right, guys.
Are
we ready to go live?
Lights better, John?
Are we ready to go live?
You're ready.
Keegen Mould, right? Keegen Mould?
Yep.
All right. Preparing the live stream. It is 7 o'clock, January 18th, episode 53.
Hey.
And I believe that we are live. This is not Memorex. This is live, folks. So as we're getting everyone into our awesome Paramotor podcast, I'm going to make sure that we don't have anything going in the background. Okay, here we go. Okay. Notes. Here we go. Hey, hello everyone. Welcome. This is Sean Symons, PPG Grandpa. Welcome to episode 53. We have Keegen Mould tonight. He's going to be talking about some really interesting stuff. But before we get to him, let's go ahead and introduce the panel. Doesn't look like we have a big panel tonight, but we have some very informative people here. As always, we have Linda Anderson, our cheerleader. And you can get up with her at paramomusa.com if you want to be on our show.
Yeah.
We also have Never Trust a Skinny Chef Shane. Welcome.
Welcome. Hello, everyone.
Do you believe it's episode 53 already, Shane? I mean, how long have you been on the show? Since what episode? Do you remember?
52 and a half.
It's crazy.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
We won't talk about the half.
Yeah, that's true.
We have Brian Haybale Waller. What's up, Haybale Waller?
How's it going, guys?
You are our famous person on here, right?
Yeah.
Am I? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe people will believe you if you keep telling them that.
People, when Tucker shouts you out, you're kind of on the popular side. I just got to say, you're kind of popular.
Yeah.
Right?
All you got to do is crash a paramotor. He's sure to make a video about you, man.
Yeah. I hope we don't get famous like that.
Oh.
And of course, we have JP Tulo in the house. He's our resident IT guy, pilot.
What's up, guys?
The guy that I know that has tossed the laundry without being in an SIV class.
It happened.
Welcome. And today is episode 53. We got Keegen Mould in the house tonight. He took up paramotoring when he was 18 years old, been flying for 4 years, so he's 22 years old. And tonight he's going to tell you about a lot of fun stuff. Let's go over a little bit of what the fun things that we're going to talk about. All the wings that he's owned. He's 22. It's killing me here. He missed an airplane by about 2 feet. We'll get into that in a little bit. He has had a crash. While he was doing a sat, he ripped some fibers on something and it sounded awful and he blacked out. Not only that, but he's never taken an SIV course. Tonight is going to be a great episode. Welcome, Keegen.
Hi, how's it going? I feel like that's a slam of never taking an SIV course.
No, when you can do these SIV, when you can do these stats and all the things that we talked about on the pre-show, it is absolutely amazing what you can do. And without taking an SIV course, I would never have tried a SAT. So, kudos to you. That was just total kudos to you. That's amazing. But you did go to, where'd you go for school?
Yeah, I went to Discover PPG in Fowler, Illinois with Mike Mixer.
Okay, so you did get formal training, but
Yeah, I got formal
in
training.
4 years, you're doing pretty darn well. So give us a little bit of background, who you are, and if you want to pop up your YouTube channel and your Facebook, you're more than welcome to.
Sure. So, yeah, I'm Keegen Mould. I am I guess first and foremost, I'm a student in mechanical engineering. I'm a senior right now at Kansas State University. I've been, yeah, like you said, been flying for 4 years in the Kansas City and Manhattan, Kansas areas. And yeah, I've got a YouTube channel called Keegen Mould. So I can share that here.
And while you're finding,
Yeah.
while you're finding that, you also had 2 motor outs tonight that we're going to talk about too, right?
Yes. Yep. 2 motor outs. So yeah, here's my channel. I have some videos on it. They're not that great, but be sure to check them out.
Absolutely.
And how many subscribers do you have right now?
I think I have 33. Somebody said, yeah, 33. There we go. Somebody in the chat
was me.
today said 33. So yeah.
All right. So hopefully we can get more than 33 by the end of tonight. Anyone that's out there.
So, what's a name of one of your videos, Keegan? Because I'm typing in Keegen Mould into YouTube search, and
Well,
it's not coming up with anything.
you could say equipment failure during SAT. That would be one that should pull it pretty easily, I imagine.
I'm putting this all.
That sounds like a very interesting video, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm putting this all in the details down below. You should be able to go down to the details of this video and see his YouTube channel now, his Facebook and his Instagram.
And JP, if you're not finding it, Keegen has all E's, so maybe that's the, yeah, Keegen Mould.
All right. So yeah, now your information is down below. I'm putting it now in our Zoom chat. Let's go to the live stream and I'll put it in the chat in the live stream so people can check that out. So you've been doing this for 4 years, flying paramotors. How much? Wow, I just went here. Kent Stamey just sent us $5 on the super chat. Thank you very, very much. That's actually going to work out because we have a lot of prizes that we are going to give out tonight. Let's go ahead and run through them real quick. We got number 1, we have a t-shirt. Number 2, we have a $25 gift card. Number 3 and number 4 are 6-month rentals on a .com. We have paramotorguy.com, paramotorgirl.com, paramotorman.com, paramotorwoman.com. So we're going to tonight give away 6-month rental on those for people that do not have a lot of traffic going to their channel. That way, if you want to say, hey, I'm Paramotor Guy, go to paramotorguy.com, it'll actually forward to your YouTube channel, your Facebook, your Instagram, whatever you want to do. So that's going to be really awesome. All right. So 2 motor outs tonight. What happened on the motor outs, man?
So, yeah, so I took off and I flew. I've had a lot of motor outs last year, I guess, technically last year, but within a year time, I've had a ton of motor outs, a ton of problems with my motor. But for the past like 3 flights or so, it's been very solid and throttle response is good and everything. So I was like, sweet, I'm going to go on a cross country, right? Now I can take it far away from the LZ. And so I was flying along and just having a good old time. And then, dead, came in for a landing, made just a fine landing in some field somewhere, but found that the spark plug cap had just popped off. So I was like, okay, well, that's a super easy fix, but I also don't have a spark plug cap with me, and I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere. So the spring little spring clips that kind of push on the spark plug tip had worn to a point, I don't know from vibration or what, but they'd worn to a point where it just wasn't clipping on very well. And I even have a solid core spark plug, you know, for that reason, so that it doesn't eat away the tip of the spark plug. But anyway, it just had come straight off loose. So I had a bag that, you know, having had many motor outs, I carry a bag with me. I have a dudek bag that's really nice, but it's way too big to put into my harness. So I sewed up a bag out of ripstop nylon that I just carry with me in case of a motor out. And I had that bag, and I pulled the drawstring out of that, and I tied the spark plug boot kind of loosely to my frame so that there was a little bit of slack, because of course the engine's moving on the rubber mounts, you know, and I don't want it to pull the spark plug boot off. But just in case the spark plug boot came off again, that way it wouldn't go through my prop, because I realized I was pretty lucky that it didn't go through my prop the first time. But so anyway, I thought it would stay on, just being pressed on a little bit better. But I took off, and like 30 seconds later, sure enough, I had another motor out, and the spark plug cap just came right back off. So I, you know, pulled a hard right turn and landed in the same spot. And I was walking around for a little bit after the second motor out. I was like, crap, man, I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere here. There were a couple of houses I was trying to find, like, I was looking through people's garbage bins trying to see if there was like some piece of metal wire maybe that I could tie around the engine and to the spark plug cap, so to kind of hold the cap vertically on there. My engine's a reverse mount engine, so the spark plug's on the bottom, which of course doesn't help with this situation, I guess. But I was trying to just get a wire and kind of draw it tight and hopefully make it back home. But I couldn't find any. But eventually I figured out that if I also took the same string that the drawstring that I had originally secured the boot with, and looped it around my air filter housing, I could kind of tie it at such an angle where the drawstring didn't hit the cylinder head, so it wouldn't just melt through the nylon, but it would also kind of hold it vertically so to keep it on from falling off. So that's how I got home. Unfortunately, I thought I was probably going to have another motor out. I didn't really think it would work, to be honest. So I thought I was going to have another motor out super soon. And I was just like, I'll just leave my gloves off because I'm just going to have to land anyway. And I flew back for another like 30 or 40 minutes without any gloves on. Man, it was very, very cold.
Hey, can we touch on that for just a second? Does anybody else in the panel have had any problems with their spark plug boot, in particular the spring that clips around the outside of the spark plug? I've gone through a bunch of spark plugs where you can see where that little metal piece is just wearing grooves in the contactor on the spark plug, and I go through quite a bit of them actually. Has anybody else had that problem?
I do not, but something I started doing early on, and I think I shared this with Sean too, is I put a little dab of dielectric grease right on the tip of the plug.
I do, because you told me about that. That's what I do.
Yeah, it's good for anti-corrosion, vibration resistance, lubrication. That might be something to think about, Brian. I've never ran into that.
And
problem.
it's an electrical conductor, so even if you have a loose electrical connection, that would help. So
yeah,
that's a good idea.
So
it should give you better contact.
Yeah, another thing on that, Brian. Do you use the spark plugs with caps that can screw off?
Typically, no.
Okay,
Because that's just an extra potential failure point.
Yeah.
Where those can screw loose. Yeah.
They're not only can they screw loose though, they're a lot softer metal than the solid cores. So I've had that problem where it eats through the end of the spark plug. That wasn't really the case here. It was actually, I think it was just vibration eventually got to the little spring that keeps it on there, and it kind of fouled the spring, not really the tip of the spark plug. Because the spark plug tip looked perfectly fine. It was a solid core plug. But yeah, definitely the solid core plugs are a lot better than the unscrewable.
There's a
Sounds like
different part number for them. I have it written down somewhere. There's actually like 3 different numbers for the NGK plugs. They're all the same plug. They're just different variations of the same heat range plug, different tip. I'll have to look them up. I got them, I think, on my old phone.
And you can use them too. If you find a good spark plug cap, you can use them without, you can use just the threaded post, which they use in some motorcycles and two-stroke scooters and stuff
if
like
only
that.
we had somebody that worked at an auto parts place that could do that kind of stuff. Napa knows how.
No, Napa.
I found it very difficult to find in store the spark plug boots that will work with just the threaded post. So I don't know if that's just me, bad luck, but you can find them online, but it's pretty difficult to find them in store, it seems like.
Does anybody do that? Use just the threaded post? Because that's a good idea. You don't have to worry about,
Yeah, it's pretty apparently it's pretty common on two-stroke scooters and definitely on motorcycles a lot of the time. But I guess it's definitely not nearly as common as the other 2 types. So
I would think with all the vibrations that we have that it would be more common in flying, but I don't see it very often. As far as like tightening a nut down, as far as holding the spark plug wire to the plug.
Keegen, in the introduction, change course here a little bit. He said something about you coming 2 feet from hitting a plane.
yeah,
So
I
was this at like 10,000 feet or
no,
what?
no. So
he's got to tell the story.
yeah, so I would say it was maybe a little bit. It was very close. It was a few feet, I'd say. But I had lined up at a small airport, and non-towered airport, and I'd lined up ready to take off with my wing pointed pretty much like parallel to the runway. Of course, offset from the runway. I'm not taking up the runway or anything. But it was kind of on the concrete parking area for planes. There was only one plane parked, and it was way off, kind of 45 degrees. But so I took off, and as I took off, I don't know if I had like kind of a line over or something, but I ended up kind of having a cravat in the left tip of my wing. And so as I'm looking up at the wing, kind of, straighten things out, it goes 45 degrees, which is right the angle where the plane was at. And so I'm kind of, looking up on my wing, checking it, and hitting throttle. And it was like a no-wind day, so I'm running real fast. And I look, and there's a plane there. There's nobody in the plane. It's not like going. It's not moving or anything. But it was kind of a decision in my mind, a very split-second decision of, okay, I can try to stop, but like I've got 80 pounds on my back, and I'm running at like 20 miles an hour, and I'm definitely gonna fall and like hurt my equipment, and the wing's gonna hit the plane for sure. Or I can jab the brakes a little bit, and I'm pretty sure like 95% confident I can go over this airplane wing. And I missed the wing by a few feet, and the pilot, who apparently, I guess he was at his hangar or something and could see the whole thing, was not too happy with me when I came back down.
What kind of plane was it? Like a Cessna or big?
Yeah, I mean, it was just like a Cessna 172 or something. It was a very small plane, but yeah, he was just waiting for me. I went up in the air, and I could see him at I was high enough up by the point I looked back down and saw that he was there. I didn't know if he was like super mad or whatnot, but I thought in my mind, yeah, he's probably pretty mad. It was like, well, I'm in the air right now. I didn't actually do anything to hurt his equipment, so I'm just gonna fly around for a bit. And I flew around for a bit, and 45 minutes later came in for a landing. He was just standing out there waiting for me and cussing me out when I got back down there. And I was like, sir, I was just like, all right, first thing, you're absolutely right. I'm so sorry. Totally my fault. But I had 2 choices, and I think I probably picked the better of the 2 choices. And And he was like, man, why didn't you just, set up farther away? And yeah, I probably should have, but it's kind of a fluke thing, I guess. So
I feel like everything we do is a learning experience. Every choice we make, we
Absolutely.
can learn from. And I feel like every flight, if you don't walk away with, learning something, it can be the smallest thing, but that's what I try to do out of every flight is take
As long as
something
you
away from it. Take something away from every
Mhm.
flight. And I think
as
you
long
can
as
take a
you
lot
walk
away
away
from that
from it.
flight. Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, any landing you walk away from is a good one for sure, man. I feel like I pick up lessons. I feel like I get better every time I fly. I try to push myself a little bit, sometimes too much.
Absolutely.
Speaking about pushing yourself too much, tell us about some rip threads. Oops, my thing's off. Tell us about some of those rip threads doing a sat and blacking out. That's a very interesting story.
So, okay, so I didn't black out. Well, I guess I grayed out, I guess is what you call it, where you can't see. But, I think blackout technically is probably where you lose consciousness. If you lose consciousness, you're dead, pretty much. If you don't regain consciousness very quickly, and you're not going to if you're in a spiral because you're going to lock in.
That's what you need to design is an automatic reserve deployment for people that lose consciousness.
Well,
The
as it
key
just so
is
happens.
it comes up with some sort of sensor that can actually detect when somebody passes out would be the trick there, I think.
Yeah.
Or at some high G's that, would probably be, a lockout spiral. Actually, when you're spiraling down in a lockout, what are the G's that you'd be pulling anyway? What are about the G's?
So if you are in a nose down spiral, you can pull pretty much up to like 8 G's. And that's about as many G's as you can pull on a paramotor, as far as I know, is in a nose down spiral, because the center of rotation is at the center of your wing, and so you're spinning around the center of your wing. So you're the point that has all the speed going around the center, and your centripetal acceleration is v squared over r, and the v squared is the highest, and the r is the highest too. But I guess
Did you just say it's centripetal with a P?
well, yeah. So it's not okay. So it's
I
not
know it's
centrifugal
not, but
force.
most people say centrifugal. That's how you
So
can tell you're educated,
I'll
because
go
you
on a
said it with a
slight
P.
rant about that here. It's really like a lot of people say centrifugal force, right? And I mean, I get it, because you totally feel like it's centrifugal force. It's actually conservation of linear momentum. So
Yeah.
you want to go in a straight line, and now something's pulling you out from that straight path, and that's what you're feeling. You're just feeling the tension on the lines. You're being pulled towards the center, so centripetal. But but yeah, you can pull about 8 G's or so. So as far as the kind of equipment failure that I had, first off, it's my fault, for a number of reasons. But I have some extensions to raise up my carabiners so that the hook end point's a little bit higher, because my thrust line is way higher than my swing arms, to a point with my weight that it'll push the cage straight into the line. So definitely not safe to fly like that. So I raised that up to where it's kind of like more of a mid hook end machine. And most of the force, all of the time, pretty much all the time, is just on the straps and in tension. And so I had my mom's boyfriend does a bunch of like leather and sewing work. So he has like an industrial sewing machine. So I had him sew up some straps for me to extend to raise the hook end point, to get the thrust line back in line with the carabiners. And so the straps are made out of nylon webbing. The nylon webbing's very, very strong 17 kilonewton nylon webbing, and they're doubled up. And then there's a loop under that. They're doubled up as far as the webbing goes through the carabiner, and then there's an extra web that goes on the bottom, extra bit of strapping, and that's just sewn in, or it was sewn in 2 spots, crossways, so that it will hold the carabiner from sliding fore aft. And this was long before I did SATs when I made those extensions. So I wasn't really thinking about the fore aft loading, really, which doesn't really occur very much in normal flight. But in a SAT, I went in and I entered the SAT, and soon after I entered the SAT, you're loading one light riser. When you enter a SAT, I'm sure a couple people on here at least have done SATs. You're leaning very hard, pushing out on one riser, and you're pulling a ton of brake on one riser. Basically, you're loading this inner riser quite a lot, though, and subsequently, you're also loading that inner carabiner quite a lot, and it wants to slide. For me, at least in my setup, it wants to slide forward, and so it pushed the bottom part of the bottom strap and the upper straps. It kind of tried to separate those, and so it was basically pulling the threads out like in tension, where they really should be loaded kind of in more of a shear, and so it ripped the threads right out, and which was relatively fine, because I wasn't a complete idiot when I designed these. I did have some backup.
Redundancy.
Redundancy, yeah, exactly. But the carabiner was able to slide like all the way forward and hit my swing arm, and so there was a big pop, and it was pretty scary because I was entering the SAT, and then all of a sudden you hear this pop and feel a big jolt. And I'll pull up the video here in a second. But
Yeah.
it was definitely a moment where it was like, oh crap, man, this is bad. And but I realized very quickly that with the sound, I was like, man, I probably broke a line or something, at least a line. But like I'm flying. At the end of the day, I'm flying, and this thing's flying, so I just need to control it and calm down. And everything was good.
So did you start to panic, or do you really keep your cool?
I really didn't panic very much. I just thought, oh, this is bad. And then I was like, but I'm still in the air. I'm just going to exit the SAT and see what happened, because my immediate thought was that maybe I was pulling, you pull brake very hard in a SAT, and I thought maybe I'd broke the brake line or something, but I'm like, I can still feel the tension in my hand, and all of these thoughts are occurring in a split second. But I was like, man, did I like break something on the riser? Did I, pull my B lines out or something? But it was kind of a moment where I was like, well, if there's anything that's bad like that, there's not a lot I can do. All I'm going to do is like slow down, assess the situation, and just fly, let the wing fly. And I'll pull it up here. So I think I have let me share the screen here.
All right. While you're doing that, guys, if you could give us a thumbs up, that really helps. We appreciate it.
All right, so you guys can see the screen, right?
Yep.
Okay. This is a slow-mo video, but you can see.
You can see the whole thing shake.
Yeah, so, and of course, the GoPro doesn't do it a lot of justice, I guess, but it throws.
You see the entire riser.
Yeah, it
Jerk
throws
right
the tip steering off of the magnet, and it kind of it tilted me forward a lot more, which is weird because that's I tilted forward enough where my immediate reaction if I tilt forward a lot is to give it some brake so that the wing doesn't overshoot me. Of course, that's not really what the wing was doing here. It's just me becoming like slightly detached from the wing in a way, I guess, or the riser moving in relation to my body. But so I immediately kind of exited and just came out of it, and I was kind of like right here. I was like, all right, well, everything's flying. I guess I'm good. But it was definitely a scary sound, a very scary sound to hear while doing a SAT. So
And
I
that's not
bet.
the one. That's not the one that you blacked out on, is it?
No. That's not. I don't even know that I have a video of the one that I blacked out on. But yeah, I did do a spiral when I was learning sats on the Hadron XX. So I had a Nucleon XX 20 meter before this wing, and I went to Hadron XX 18. And actually, it's not really the speed of the wing that was the problem at all, or the agility or anything like that. It was just when I got the wing, I didn't adjust the brakes at all. And so, I mean, I'd kited it and everything. But the brake pressure on the Hadron is like 5-6 times harder than the brake pressure on the Nucleon XX. So where I had the Nucleon XX brakes where they were, engaging pretty much immediately, I wanted to leave a little bit of space for the Hadron XX, especially when I let the trims out and it, pulls on the brakes a little bit. Basically, I don't want the brakes being pulled while the trims are out.
And
And
you've had a bunch of different wings,
yes.
and you said that you want to talk about all the wings. Real quick, everyone, if you're in the chat, please let us know that you're here. We're going to be giving away a lot of stuff. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things to give away tonight,
Really?
and we're going to have a good time. Make sure.
Shane's there. Hey, before we move on, you're talking about your sat. How high were you, and were you flying with a reserve?
So yeah, I always fly with a reserve, and I definitely would not do a sat without a reserve. It's dangerous enough if something goes wrong, you need a reserve for sure. I would say probably a good 4,000 or 5,000 feet, very
Okay,
high.
yeah.
I had plenty of altitude, and I was over water too. All of my first sats up until like 20 sats, I flew over Tuttle Creek, which some people will say, is if you're in water, it's not really any better if you don't have a safety boat. But I think mainly the reason I was doing it over water is because like mentally you think it's better, and it kind of put me in a little bit more at ease state. And when I'm just trying out these sets for the first time, I wanted to have everything. I'd turn off my music and I'd do a couple wing overs first and make sure I'm kind of in the mood for it, and don't want to force anything basically.
You're over water. Do you have flotation?
I do not have flotation. Yeah. So, I mean, it wasn't that I was like flying low over water though. I guess it was more of, but I see your point there. I guess if you're coming down under reserve or whatever,
right.
Flotation's definitely.
I'm terrified of water, man. Even
Yeah.
small lakes and
So-
ponds, I go around just in case I have a wing collapse and go straight down or something.
Yeah. And I guess the thing is, I didn't really think of flotation for that specifically, though it definitely would be a good idea. It's just like I don't live near any big bodies of water or fly over them usually. Or if I do fly over, like sometimes I will go over Tuttle Creek, but I will always make sure that I'm, high enough before I cross the bank of it's Tuttle Creek, but it's actually a lake. Cross the bank of the lake that I can just glide to the other end or either end at any point. But I don't really fly over water enough that I thought that it would be necessary to get flotation. But definitely, doing sats over water. If you have to throw a reserve, definitely be good to have flotation. Get tangled up in all the lines and everything. And Tuttle Creek's only like 10 or 12 feet deep, but that doesn't really matter either. As long as it's like 5 feet.
3 feet deep's enough to do it, man.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people they don't fly with flotation, and they just say if I'm over water, I stay high enough to glide to land. Which you're taking a little bit of a risk there, but just know that drowning is the #1 cause of death for paramotor pilots. So it's best to err on the side of safety for sure. And shout out in the chat to Will Fly. Appreciate the $5, man.
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate that. That will definitely help out sending out all these fun things that we have going on tonight. We got 31 people watching, 19 thumbs up. We appreciate that. If you haven't given us a thumbs up, please do so. We are going to be giving away a couple of things while we are talking with our guest tonight. So if you haven't said something in the chat, make sure that you do. Whenever JP is able to, he's going to spin the wheel. The first thing that we're going to spin for, I don't know yet, but we're going to spin the wheel. Once it's spun, we're going to give away some stuff. So sorry about that. Go ahead and continue, Keegan.
So I guess where I was on the story of almost blacking out. So I hadn't adjusted the brakes to be quite as tight as I'm usually used to. But anyway, I'd been doing, I'd had 10 or 15 hours on the Hadron XX by this point, and I was pretty used to it, tossing it around. But so I went in for my first couple sats, and they were pretty spirally sats, I think is the term, where you're two nose down, really. The angle that you're at is really not very, very good. And so I was at, maybe like a 10 or 15 degree angle, something like that, which is pretty much, it's pretty close to a nose down spiral. So you're pulling a ton of G's there. And yeah, I had one where it was enough that it G'd me out to the point where I couldn't see, and I was like, I'm getting out of this thing right now. But really what fixed that was just shortening up the brakes, because I can get, now I'm pretty much at a 45 plus, at least in a sat, which slows down the rotational speed quite a lot. You bring the center of rotation much closer to the pilot, and it's a lot easier to endure.
Have you done a sat since this happened?
Oh yeah, I've done. I would say I do a sat every flight, at least a sat every flight, except if I'm flying with my chase cam, because apparently they say you can't, like, it might get tangled up or something like that.
Right.
But it's something that I want to get really good at, so I try to practice every flight, and I'll just get really, really high up and do sat and come down. By now they're second nature. So
I have a question. So when your stitching came undone,
yeah,
your mom's boyfriend sewed that for you. Does he like you? Is the question.
So yeah, I mean, that really wasn't like, that wasn't his fault at all, of course.
I'm not saying that.
I made sure when I was like, hey, this stitching came undone. I didn't want to put it as like, hey, you didn't do a good enough job sewing this. Are you trying to kill me? But I pretty much, I was like, hey, I did a sat and the stitching came undone. I should have designed this differently. Will you sew up another one for me? And so I designed it differently now, so that it's actually, I have now, I have kind of the same thing where I have two lengths of nylon webbing over the top. But then I have, this is going to be difficult to explain in audio, I guess. But instead of having a section where I have a pinch, I'll just draw it out because this is easier.
While you're drawing that, how does your mom feel about you flying?
Well, she didn't like it very much so actually when I got it, this is kind of a funny story. I got my paramotor. I had seen it, like, I'd seen some version of, I guess it's probably powered parachuting or something like that on Top Gear. And I wanted to get into it for a while, but I was like, there's no way I can afford that. I'm like 16 or 17 at the time. And then I saw on eBay one time a paramotor for like $800, and I was like, heck yeah, I'm gonna paramotor. Yeah. Which of course was a total scam, right? But by the time I'd figured out it was a scam and PayPal gave me my money back, I was kind of hooked, and so I ordered it, and it came in like right after my 18th birthday, so I didn't even like tell my parents that I was gonna do paramotoring, but at least, like, once I told them, like, I'm gonna go get training for this, they were like, okay, well, at least you're getting training, you're doing it right. But so Oh, this is gonna be an awful drawing.
Hey, thanks for the prepaid postage there, Bill. $5.
Yeah, and your Yankees Garcia gave us, I believe it was $9.99. Yes.
Oh, did I
$9.99.
miss that one? You sure did. Sorry
Wow.
about that, your Yankees.
That's why it takes two of us, Brian.
Yeah. Well, I know you could do the job all by yourself. No problem.
No, I can't either. I go
Okay.
back and watch these, and half the time I'm never even looking at the screen. I'm looking at the TV, trying to read all the chat and keep up with everybody.
So I'll try. Oh man, this isn't gonna work. Okay.
Uh-oh.
I'll try to make this work for audio too. But so this was the original design where I have a strap going over the top and one on the bottom. But really two straps on the top and one on the bottom. And the one on the bottom had stitches here and stitches to both sides of the carabiner. But the thing is, when the carabiner slides forward, it wedges the thread there, and it wants to rip the thread apart. But now, trying to look through the back of the paper here, you can see that the threads now are just in shear. So there's really nothing to worry about because it's looped around. So it's a lot stronger of a design now than it was before. So basically, I like showed him this design. He's a manufacturing engineer. So he was kind of interested in it too. But I was like, okay, so I've ran through a bunch of calculations on this. I promise you this one's going to work better. Will you sew this one up for me?
Did you
know?
see what I had shared on the screen, Keegan?
Some toggles.
No.
Oh, yeah. We saw that a minute ago. Yeah.
That's what those are for. They're called soft links. Dudek makes them. They're good for like 12 tons or something like that. And
Is that
you
what
just
those are for? Those are my paramotor. I never
yeah,
knew
they
that.
come in the pocket of your Dudek harness, and you wrap them around your J bars on certain frames. The Maverick doesn't need them because it's part of it uses a different but
right. That's a little bit different than the setup that I've got going on.
okay.
Mine run parallel to the J bar or to the swing arm
I got
instead
you.
of perpendicular, but yeah.
Because I had to use something like that when my front mount reserve was like too tight. I had to lengthen it down a little bit so it hung a little bit lower on me. I ended up using like something like that to something that had to be super strong in case I ended up needing it.
Yeah, so I mean, like right now, I have they're two entirely separate.
I see that, JP.
Like two entirely separate
Napa
strap sets on each carabiner. So one could completely go out, and the other would still be there.
Nice.
Just for some added, it's completely ridiculous because if you go through the calculations, like, that there's no way in the world that these things are going to break. But regardless, it's just there for me to be like, okay, well, I had a scary moment at one point. There's no way that this is ever going to happen again,
The calculations, aren't going to save you, at 10,000 feet when you're falling out of the sky. Redundancy is definitely a nice thing to have. And on that note, can you guys see that?
I recognize that dog.
I know that
Did I ever
dog.
show you that, Brian?
That's Major General.
That is Major General rocking my shades.
That's a good picture, man.
How do we feel about the wheel? Are we?
With the
You guys
wheel,
want to check some
whenever
names?
you have everybody on there, spin the wheel. And
I think
this
I've
is what
got
this is
a
what we're
good
gonna
set of
spin.
names.
Looks like we got about 30 in the chat.
We got two new people that just showed up.
This
Who
is
just
what
showed
we're.
up?
This is what we're going to be. Well, we have a ton of stuff that we're going to give away. First and foremost, if you could let me show you, this is called Lasso. This right here connects to the inside of your case on the inside. You take out your case, put this on the inside, it connects, and
Closer
then you
to
have
the camera,
Lasso.
Sean.
What's that?
Closer to the camera.
Can you remove your background, Sean, so it's not so
even better?
Is it safe?
Or use your phone.
John Wayne with the super chat of $19.99.
Yeah, thanks, John Wayne.
Yeah, check that out.
Good looking, buddy.
Mighty nice of you. I noticed we got a fellow in from Canada right now.
Good day, mate. Or what do they say? Eh? What are you talking about, eh?
Now I heard Keegan say boot a couple times today, and I was like, "Where are you from?" He's like, "What, Kansas?" You say?
I am half Canadian, but
Yeah. Oh, I hear it. It
Ah.
sounds all Canadian.
All right, so hopefully this is going to work. I got this. Let me make sure you can see this. I know, turn it sideways. All right, so this is called Lasso. Okay, this fits underneath your case and connects to your case or to your phone. And this comes out that little port, and your phone is connected, so you can have it wrapped around something.
I literally have the same one on my phone right now.
I think this is the reason why I got these. Now, the reason why I got this also is because of the donations that I've got in the super chat. So not only can we send out gifts, but now I can buy gifts to send out. So this one is for everyone that has donated. We totally appreciate you helping us out. We have one that we're going to give away today, and then we're going to have another one that we're going to give away next week. We also have this right here. It's a full HD GoPro knockoff. I got it to do a test on it. So I'm going to test this out and see how well it works. And then next week, we're going to give this away to a lucky winner.
It's a 100% genuine GoPro knockoff.
And we're also
Hey.
going to give away 2 Paramotor stickers
Nice.
from 2 North Paramotor. We have a $25 gift card, and that is from Robert Wheeler at great3d.com. And I'll show that in just a moment. We got a Paraswag USA t-shirt that says I fly a latte. Ah, cool, huh? We also have a quick mix container for your 2-stroke oil with a sticker in there from Paraswag USA. So Paraswag is giving away 2 things. And Paramotor NC, you won last week. Here's your stuff. You never sent me your address. ppggrandpa@gmail.com. If anybody knows Paramotor NC, tell
And
him.
Lorenzini.
He's got his package here.
I think he was in the chat earlier.
I can,
address.
his address is 541 Napa Lane.
Hope we don't tell his real address up this way. All right, so that's what we got.
I think he said to send it to. I think he said send it to Florida.
Phone number is
Send it.
865-5309.
Send it 867-5309.
Yeah.
Yine.
Area code 555.
555-1212.
It's
Spin
123
that
Faith
wheel,
Street.
man. Got a lot of stuff to give away.
Yes,
Yeah,
we do.
let's get on that.
And while we're spinning the wheel in the chat, if anybody's got any questions for Keegan, mechanical engineering student, wants to build his own paramotors, and got a pretty interesting story.
Keegan, what's the longest you've flown in one flight,
as far as distance wise,
or just total time in the air from the time you left the ground and came back?
Reptile Guy is in the chat. He's the one that bought my first boner from me. Hey, what's up, Reptile
nice.
Guy? Shut up.
Your first what?
Yeah, your
My
first
first
what?
Boner
Paramotor.
from you?
Yeah, he bought my first paramotor from me.
Oh, I thought you said something
Okay.
else.
Yeah.
I've run through all 12 liters, so it's probably like 2.5 hours. I get like 5.3 liters per hour or something like that on my Minari. So I've run full to dry before. And as far as distance, I probably haven't done more than like 60 miles probably, though I'd really like one day to go, and I really can't do this very much longer, so I've got like 1 semester of this left because I got 1 semester of school left, but I'd like to fly from Manhattan to Overland Park or vice versa. So that would be a fun one to do. Definitely have to have a couple of gas stops in the way.
Thank you, Bill H. $5 for postage. Just saw that. John Wayne, 1999. That was a good year. We partied like it was 1999. Thank you very much, sir. And whenever you are ready to spin, we're going to spin this one for the, I guess we'll do the lasso to connect your phone so you don't drop it off your paramotor. Okay, funny story. I dropped my phone twice from about 4,000 or 5,000 feet each time, and I found it.
Wow.
So
Nice.
I've been looking for different straps, and I found a case that actually has a strap connected to it. So I don't. So these lassos are not necessary for me. So who's going to win? Who's
Well,
gonna
I can
win
tell
this?
you, Sean, you've seen my setup, and I've used that strap since I bought my chest harness, because I put the lasso through the chest harness,
Yep.
and long as my phone doesn't come out of the case, we're good, because it's not attached to your phone; it's attached to your case. But I've never even come close to it. Who do we got here?
Mark
I've been,
McElroy.
I've been flying for a year and I haven't pulled my phone out of my pocket yet. You know why? I
You
still don't have one of
want
those
to drop
straps.
it.
Will Fly. I say it's Will Fly.
Yeah, I believe it's gonna be 05.
I
It's
don't
gonna
know.
be
Your
close on
Dan
your
keys
dance.
is pretty close.
It's gonna be close.
No, it's
Yeah.
it's Will Fly.
Will Fly.
All right, Will. What did he win?
Yay!
Will Fly. He's won the lasso.
Woohoo!
He was in the chat a little while ago. Will, you got to speak up.
Must be present to win.
Yeah.
How many people do we have watching? Almost 40 people watching, and how many thumbs up?
22.
All right.
Hey, this is good because Will had a donation, didn't he? Didn't he say it was for shipping too?
Yes, Will Fly actually donated today.
Uh,
So yeah, thank you very much, Will.
Awesome.
Well, Bill H donated $5. Said it was prepaid shipping. I
Okay.
think.
Will Fly is in the chat. He said thank you.
All right, good deal. Will, do me a favor. Send me an email to ppggrandpa@gmail.com, and I need your mailing address, please.
Social security number and your credit card information.
Oh, and also send me your phone. I'll send you my phone number. That way we can be text friends. So thank you very much. We have Kent Kent Stamey donated, Will Fly, your Dan Keys, Bill H, and John Wayne. Did I miss anybody?
Thank you guys.
Wow.
That's
So
awesome.
thank you so much. So all right, so that was Will Fly. So Will Fly. What do we have next? What do we have next? What do we want to give away next? Hey, you know what?
There's a bunch of people just dropped in the room. Hang on
Mhm.
one second. Gotta get caught up.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people in there now.
Well, that's
Yay!
good.
looks
I
like
think they're all coming
I'm
for the
showing
giveaway.
37 in the chat.
Is we're giving away a bunch of stuff. That's okay.
37 in the chat, 25 thumbs up. We need to get that up to at least
Yeah, we gotta
30
get some
thumbs up.
before the next.
Exactly.
Last week we had over 40 thumbs up. So I don't know if we can outdo ourselves, make it 50 thumbs up. That'd be really good. Hey guys, we are averaging between 1,000 and 1,500 listens between our audio, our video, and the other ways that we're putting our this podcast out there. Almost 1,500 a week. So thank you very much for listening.
Yeah.
We totally appreciate you guys.
Hey,
Oh.
Keegan, one question or comment from the chat from Bill H was when you start making paramotors, can you try and make all American?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I guess that's always reflected in the price, unfortunately, but there's give and take for everything, right? I mean, I like personally, a lot of the stuff that comes from overseas, I don't think has as much R&D time put into it as stuff from the US. So I would sure like to make them all in the US and source parts from the US. Absolutely. So.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be hard to make your own engines in the U.S. and compete with some of these.
For sure, yeah. I mean, as far as engines, I guess the amount of R&D that goes into making an engine and then making it right and everything, I've always assumed that I would buy an engine from another manufacturer for a while at least, and just concentrate on frames and harnesses.
It sounds like a good senior design project to design your own paramotor, man.
Yeah, I got senior design 2 coming up. Hopefully the company's just not gonna happen, but that'd be nice. They're just like, yeah, we don't have any specific projects for you. Just come up with something, man.
We're going to
Heck
be
yeah.
giving away $300 in cash this year also. Very super easy to enter. We'll take a random person that has joined our Paramotor podcast on Facebook. So if you have not liked our page, please like it. Just being there. And I think that there's a thing that I can click on there. The what is it called when the biggest fan? The biggest fan. Whoever the biggest fan is in June, we are going to give away $100 cash, real cash, American dollar, to whoever is our biggest fan on our Facebook, which will be June, middle of June, which is my birthday. Woo-hoo. We're also going to give away $100 cash to a random person that posts a 5-star review on iTunes for this audio podcast. Also, if you go to paratalk.org, that's another place that we post our audio podcast. This one right here that you can see, we have the audio go to our podcast. We're also going to give away another $100 bill very soon, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. Let me go ahead and share my screen so you can see this. This is our next gift that we're going to give away from Robert Wheeler at great3d.com. He has given us four $25 gift cards to give away, so you can purchase some of his really cool stuff on his website. I think that I have his website pulled up someplace also. So let's go ahead and give away the gift certificate on this spin. That's a $25 gift certificate that we'll give away right now. And while we are spinning, or maybe we can't do it while we're spinning, let me share this screen real quick so you can see what they're doing for us. Let's see, where am I? There we are. Share screen. And here we go. So this is his website right here. He makes all sorts of carbon fiber things. The things that we are looking at mostly are the Paramotor prop spacer made from carbon fiber, and also the prop plates are made from carbon fiber. Some people in our on our panel actually have these. Who has these, and what do you think about them?
I think Kevin has one.
I do not.
Yeah, I've got the carbon fiber plate, and it looks good.
Nice.
It obviously is a little bit lighter than the aluminum plate that comes off of there, and a lot of people just are on this carbon fiber trend where they just try to place everything on their paramotor they possibly can with carbon fiber.
If it's carbon, it's better.
Yeah.
Just because it's lighter, I assume.
Faster. And if it's red, it's faster too.
That's awesome. All right.
Has an extra like 3 horsepower, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
and racing stripes.
Yeah.
In engineering, you get these terms. You got faster, better, cheaper. Pick any 2 and I can give it to you. I cannot ever give you all 3.
All right, good deal. Let's go ahead and spin for our $25 gift card. Must be present to win. I think somebody accidentally pushed the thumbs down. If you did, no problem. Just go over and hit the thumbs up and they'll change it. It happens.
No way that could have been on purpose.
No.
How could you not love this screw right here?
No, it happens. You try to go and click it and you click the wrong one. It happens. So, if you just happen to see that the thumbs down is blue, make sure you go, oops, that was me. We don't care who it is. Just go over to the 33 and make it a 34.
Linda's on your way to your house right now, whoever you are.
By the way, that's paramomusa.com.
She's going to break it down.
So while we're spinning, and we're almost there, who is going to win?
Eric Lear?
If you have this clairvoyance, before we spin, Oh no, no way, Dragon Campers.
It's your boy, isn't
So
it?
close.
That's my boy. He's my son.
That's Dragon. Oh, it's coming close.
Oh
No.
my goodness.
Oh,
Cameron, you won. You better say something in the chat, dude.
Yay!
And by you better say something in the chat. Get online, hurry up.
That's
Yay!
you know what? I tell you what, because he doesn't fly yet, I will give him something else.
oh
Hey.
wait. Do you know this guy personally?
He's my son.
I
Oh,
know, man. I'm just
I
giving you a
mean,
hard time.
you know, come on, you don't fly yet. Hey, Cameron, I'll tell you what. I'll get you those prop plates and stuff once we get you a paramotor. So don't worry about that. I'll hook you up, brother.
there you go.
So let's go ahead and spin again. Cameron, just text me. Let me know what you want. You get a little something, so we'll figure out something. Okay. Oh,
That was a respin,
no,
right?
yeah. Let's go ahead and spin again for the gift certificate. Cameron's like, man, I won. No, you did win. Don't worry. You are going to get something.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
dinner tonight for
Get
free.
a father's everlasting love, and you can't put a price on that.
Sean Masker said it's rigged.
It's not rigged. I said I'll get you something else. We're gonna spin for the gift certificate.
Love you, Shawnee.
All right.
Sean must have just came in because I didn't get him.
Yeah,
Who did?
Sean.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
He says it's rigged because he wants it.
There you go. There you go.
Maybe JR. I just fixed his name. No.
Oh,
Kenneth? JR? Junior?
What are we giving away
Ah,
next,
that was
Sean?
close.
Did we give away did we spin again for the gift card?
That was really cool.
What is going on over there?
JP,
What?
did we spin again for the gift card?
Danny's like, what the heck?
You didn't see that?
No.
Why not screen sharing?
You're not screen sharing. We see your pretty mug, but we don't see
Let me
it.
guess. You spun it and JP Tulo won.
It's not live. It didn't happen.
You want me to show you what just happened, or should I redo it?
No, just redo it. If we don't see it, it didn't happen.
If it's not videotaped, it didn't happen.
Videotaped.
Oh.
Videotaped.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
What happens on Betamax and VHS stays on Betamax. Videotape. I love it. That shows
Matt-
how old we are. All right.
Matt Russ says his name's not on the chat or on the wheel.
Get him on
But-
there.
Uh-oh.
I don't see my name on the chat on there, so that's kind of rude.
Hey, you guys, I just want to let you know that everything that you donate, everything 100% goes into sending out stuff to you guys, purchasing things, and we totally appreciate that. Wouldn't be able to do it without your donation, so thank you.
Thank
Any
you.
donation that you give, you get 2 spins on the wheel.
Hey, Sean, I have a question. During the spinning of the wheel, can I get off the show, get in my name on the wheel, and then come back later? Like,
Yes,
ask
I've tried it, man. It doesn't work.
it.
Don't be close. Shannon Brooks.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Shannon Brooks
All right.
wins a $25 gift card.
Nice!
I know that guy. We're friends on Facebook as of today. How about that?
Congratulations! That's awesome.
All right.
There
If you're in the chat, say, hey, I'm here.
Very cool.
So
Let's see.
I already wrote Shannon Brooks on the gift card. So you better say something or else I'm going to have to scribble that off. We don't want that to happen.
Say something.
Keegan
He's
says,
in there.
Keegan
Yeah,
says,
he
that-
was.
He said nice
Yeah,
things.
he's there.
okay, good deal. Thank you. All right. So we got that taken care of. Keegan said that he's going to be here all night. He can pull an all-nighter with us, which is awesome. That's what we want. We love it when we have guests here that can
Well,
stay and
I
party
can
all.
stay up all week because I have all week off.
That must be
Whoa,
nice.
Janie.
All right, guys. We have 2 True North Paramotor stickers. So let's go ahead and spin for the stickers real quick.
Oh, those are cool.
This is from True North Paramotors.
Nice. I want one.
I just got a I just got a paratalk.com sticker in the mail today.
You did? Right on.
Yeah.
No,
The best, Johnny, the best. You got the best of the best.
only we had an insider, at ClearPropTV.com.
I haven't got a paraglidingtalk.com sticker, so I'm going to have to talk to him.
The next things that we're going to give away are we're going to give away 6-month rental of 2 different .coms. We got paramotorguy.com, paramotorgirl.com, paramotorman.com, and paramotorwoman.com, and that will forward to whatever you want to, your YouTube channel, your Facebook. That way, when you're out there, you can say, "Hey, I'm paramotorman.com."
This is one of the newest pilots in the chat.
Jim, hey,
Jim!
Hey!
All right.
Woohoo!
Jim Reeves was a guest on our show a few weeks ago.
Yep.
Him and his son
Yep.
both trained at
Yeah.
Aviator.
That's cool.
Congratulations.
Jim, say something in the chat, and then whoever wins, you guys make sure that you email me at ppggrandpa@gmail.com. Let me know what you won, what episode. This is episode 53, and what you've won, and then I need your address also, please.
I just threw your email in the chat.
Yeah, there you go.
What?
So I just threw your email in the chat for him to take
That's
it up
cool.
on.
That's cool. That's cool.
Oh, okay.
All right, now we got a quick mix.
Jim says what? What did he win?
You won 2 stickers. You won 2 stickers from True North Paramotor. Yay.
Awesome.
I mean, we're just trying to give away a bunch of stuff. And by the way, your donations also helped us get stamps.com. So we got a little scale right here. We're able to ship everything from here right to you. So tomorrow, I'll get your information from the email, package everything up, and send it out. So thank you once again for your donations. You guys are making this really fun.
Hey, I hate to clarify this real quick, but we got 2 Jims in the chat that said thank you, and so this is going to Jim CR 120, the 2 stickers. Sorry, Jim Simard, for the confusion.
Tommy just donated $9.99. Thank you, Tommy Mosley. You're supposed to be in here yapping with us, but we
where you
appreciate
at,
your
Tommy?
donation.
Yeah, I have a I have a question in the chat from your Dinkies Garcia. He wants to know when you're going to be raffling off an SIV course.
As soon as I you know what? As soon as I am a SIV instructor, I will do that.
It's a good question.
Yeah, that's not too cheap. That's like $400 a day, depending on where you go.
That is
And if that really happens, I am off the show until the wheel gets done spinning.
Sorry, no formal panel members are allowed to win.
Oh,
But here's something for you guys. Mark George, the guy that's giving away, this and the shirt and everything. Mark George from Paraswag USA and I are going to go take a tandem class and get our tandem exemptions. Just in case you didn't know, I do plan on opening up a school, which is why I'm getting my PPG 1, 2, 3 instructors rating in tandem, so I can open up a school this summer, which is going to be Paramotor Arkansas or ppgarkansas.com. And we're also opening up paramotorcollege.com, which is going to be the online course before I actually come to our actual course. So now we got the quick mix. It has a sticker on the inside that comes out from Paraswag USA.com. And this spin will be for the quick mix.
The what?
The quick to mix gas to oil mixture ratio.
Thank you. I didn't know what I didn't understand what you said.
I'm sorry.
Never mind.
It's me. I ramble on sometimes.
It's how you measure out your blinker fluid for your car.
Everybody needs blinker fluid. You know, that goes along with your ID 10T. All right, who's going to win? Remember, guys, if you post who's going to win before they win, you also win. So make sure you do get clairvoyance.
Who's in the red?
Chat.
I can't see it.
Oh, that's Gilby Cox.
Gilby Cox.
Yeah.
Yay!
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. You in the chat?
LB.
LB Cox.
So,
All right.
since we got mostly dudes in the chat tonight, who's going to win the women's websites?
I know, huh?
If we
Just saying.
if we spin and it's a guy, they get a choice between paramotorguy.com and paramotorman.com. If it's a girl, they have a choice between paramotorgirl.com and paramotorwoman.com. And that will be theirs for the next 6 months to help get traffic to whatever website they want it to go to. We're also
That's a great idea.
We're also starting ppgbootcamp.com, which we'll talk about in just a moment.
Yeah.
Kelby-
I want to hear about
Kelby
that.
Cox. Kelby Cox, are you in the chat?
Yeah, flying flamingos is me.
Yeah. Jade's in there as a woman. She's a woman, and I'm sure if she wins, she'll take it. All right. So I haven't seen them yet.
Kelby, if you do at KE, you can see if they're in the chat.
All right, hold on. Nope.
Not in the chat.
I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
That way you can see who they are.
No, we got a Kent and a Kenneth. That's the only two Ks that are in, or the KEs that are in there.
All right. Going once.
Going once. Going twice.
Here's gonna be a quick one.
All right.
The respin. Ready?
Go for it. Bzzz.
All right. Who's going to be?
Right. Who's gonna be? Who's it gonna be?
How many people on the wheel do we know?
Yordankis.
Oh,
Who's in the green?
On your Yankees. Kent Steen.
oh, that stopped a lot quicker than I thought it was gonna.
Wow. All right.
Yay!
All right.
Awesome. Oh, thank
All those
you.
donations are paying off for you, sir.
Yeah.
I bet he kicks it back. I don't know, but let's see what he says.
Your Yankees. You got my phone number. If you text me your address, that'll be just as okay as emailing me at ppggrandpa@gmail.com. If you won something, once again, make sure you let us know that this is episode 53, what you won, and your address, please.
There he is. He said no. What does no mean?
No, you don't want to text me?
Yordankis?
No, you already have one? No,
I
what?
think he doesn't like to win stuff. He likes to give it back. Is what I remember from one.
Do you want us to spin the wheel again? Your Yankees, Garcia?
I'm asking right now. Hold on. No, thank you. I appreciate it. Says thank you, appreciate it. I just asked him what does no mean.
Okay.
So he says thank you, appreciate it. I don't.
All right. So I assume that's what he wanted. He wanted that. Okay.
Hey,
good.
Jordan, text me real quick and just say you want it or don't want it. Come on.
Come on.
Get this thing going.
Tell us.
Exactly.
Let's go. Let's go to another spin, and then I'll wait for him to reply.
All
and
right.
then
These next
we'll
two
come back.
are 6-month rentals on our .coms. We got paramotorguy.com, paramotorgirl.com, paramotorman.com, and paramotorwoman.com. Tonight we're going to give 2 6-month rentals to them. The reason why we got these is to help people get traffic to their website, because it's easy for me to say, hey, go to ppggrandpa.com to find my YouTube channel. It's hard to say, hey, search for me. You search for me, and there could be a bunch of PPG grandpas, Powerpuff, girl grandpas. I've did that happen. I was like, Powerpuff girls, PPG. That's crazy. So this helps people get to a website that they want to help promote. So that's why we got these.
Okay.
6-month rentals. It's just something fun to do. Just like Tommy Mosley, we got PPG, Tommy.com. We got Paramotor or ParaMomUSA.com, KevinCanFly.com. All those are just forwards to whomever. So
So let me get it straight. You've gotten .coms for everybody on the panel besides me and JP.
Ooh.
I asked you, I said, I'll get you .coms for Christmas. And everybody said, nope.
I see how it is. I see how it is.
Yeah, I just kidding.
I've asked.
Maybe Haybill's kidding.
If you
I'm
want
pretty sure Brian Haybill
wanna
Waller's
talk-
probably taken anyway.
I'm sure it is. If not, it's going to be taken after this.
JP
Brian
True
Haybill Waller.
has a nice one.
All right, so let's go ahead and spin. If it's a guy, they can pick the guys. If it's a girl, they can pick one of the girls. If they don't want it, that's fine. You can stay on the spinning wheel. If this is not what you want, you do not have to accept it. By the way, I'm also talking on a brand new microphone.
Ooh, you do sound like
Sounds
Strobes.
awesome.
I
like it.
I can't be shown off by our guests and sponsors like Mark George. ParisWagUSA.com.
Cool.
Exactly.
Jim again.
Jim,
Is
Jim, you left his name on the wheel.
wow.
I removed his last name after he won. He was in there.
Oh, it's beginner's luck.
Wow.
I think so.
Jim, do you want this? And if you do you want paramotorguy.com or paramotorman.com?
He choose to trade in his previous gift. Maybe he wants this gift and not the other one, or the other way around.
Two stickers for a website.
Wants both of them. He did win them fair and square, and he donated
he
money.
does. He can do whatever he wants.
Absolutely.
Just say something in the chat to let us know that you were there.
Something.
Next week we're going to do the same thing. We're going to give out the next two. So if you guys want a .com, that forwards to your YouTube channel or your Facebook.
Hey, Jim just said, tell Linda, your son, I'm done with his show because he's winning all this stuff over here.
Oh, never.
Congrats.
Good
Jim.
stuff, Jim.
Man. Oh my gosh.
I'd encourage you to take the website if you want it.
I know that you guys are trying to hit the thumbs up, but sometimes you hit the thumbs down. That's no problem. If you see the little blue thumbs down, no problem. Just move it over and hit that 37, make it a 38. We got 40 people watching. We really totally appreciate you guys.
Thank you. Thank you guys.
On average, we get about 300-ish people that watch this. And then we have another 500 to 800 people that listen to this audio part on iTunes and paratalk.org and other platforms. So we appreciate you.
Love it.
If you go to iTunes and give us a review or paratalk.org and give us a review, you are entered into our $100 cash drawing that we are going to be giving away in June. On my birthday, I got to give away money.
Hey, Sean.
Yes.
What did Garcia win?
Garcia won.
Go back and rewatch the show.
The quick mix bottle. Your Yankees, Garcia.
Yes.
Yeah, the quick mix bottle. Did he say that he wanted it?
I'm in the midst of asking him now. He's out with his daughter, so he's like in and out of the he's watching it, walking with his phone, but having to keep an eye on his daughter as well. So
okay. No
he said give it away. He has one.
Oh, okay. All right. The next spin will be either. Wait a minute. Who won the .com?
Jim wants to know what his choices were. And Jim just,
Paramotor, either paramotorguy.com or paramotorman.com. If you type those in right now, paramotorguy.com and paramotorman.com, that forwards over to my YouTube channel. I have 19,200 plus subscribers, and that's how I'm forwarding, what I'm doing in my videos and other places, how I'm getting people to go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. So hopefully this will help you guys get more subscribers to your YouTube channel or your Facebook. So you get paramotorguy.com or paramotorman.com. Which one would you like? Or you can do paramotor girl or paramotor woman. I don't care. I mean, they're out there, whatever you guys want. Did he say anything yet?
no, he hasn't said anything that I've seen in the chat. Dave Wolf's here. He says, am I late?
David Wolf, no problem. You're never late. You're always good. As long as you're here to win a prize, right? That's all that counts. One of the things. Oh, Sean Nasker said, send subscribers to me. I want to get a YouTube plaque. Oh man, wouldn't that be nice to get a YouTube plaque? For some reason that YouTube blocked it. I had to unblock that. I don't know why they would block that one. We have a bunch of moderators in our chat. If you want to be a moderator in our chat, let us know. We will make you a moderator, but we always seem to have pretty good people in here. Paramotorguy.com. All right. Do me a favor, please. Email me at ppggrandpa@gmail.com. Let me know that you won paramotorguy.com on episode 53. And then let me know what URL you would like me to forward that to. So if you say, hey, I want this to be going to my YouTube channel, give me your YouTube channel. And when you type in paramotorguy.com, it'll automatically forward to your YouTube channel. Congratulations. I think that's a pretty good .com.
Very nice.
What's next?
Either or the quick mix or a .com. I mean, we got those. And we got t-shirts and other things to give away. So this is just gonna be a giveaway show.
Let's do a t-shirt.
The t-shirt will be in just a moment. That's gonna be a special one.
Oh, okay.
And Keegan, thank you so much for being a good sport and helping us out with our podcast.
Sean Door's in the chat too now.
Sean Dorr, I've been asking him to come on this show since episode 1. I've been asking him. No, episode 2. I've been asking him to come on the show. So whenever you want to, Sean Dorr, you are welcome, sir.
That's right. I've been asking him too. I'm like, Shondar, come on it. Come on it. Come on it. He will eventually.
Okay. While we're spinning for the next, either the .com or the mix thing, can either Shane or Brian or Keegan go through the chat and say hi to everybody that has that's in there?
Been there,
Or
done
just some
that.
shout outs.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, Brian, hit it.
Oh. All right,
some-
so I see Mark H, John Wayne, Tommy Mosley, Matt Russ, Bill H, Sandor, Dragon Campers, Glenn Tussing, Sean's in the house.
Yeah.
Let's see, JP, I'm not sure who that guy is. Jim, CR120, David Wolf, I said Mark H, Bill H, John Wayne. And go back here far enough, I might find somebody I hadn't already said. Flying Flamingo, Will
Yay.
Fly,
Yay.
Dar Anthony, Chuck Johnson, Shannon Brooks, Jeremy, Jordankis,
Yay.
Mike's Eulogy, I'm not sure how you pronounce that.
Okay.
Glenn
That goes
Tussey.
back pretty far. I think I got most of them.
Thank you very much.
God,
And
thank you,
if you
my
would
friend.
go ahead and spin the wheel. This will be for another .com
Real
or
quick, can we do this while I'm thinking about it? Do a screenshot.
Sure.
Oh, Jesus. Let me get my hair straight. Hold on.
oh, screenshot. Gotcha.
Bill's in the chat.
Oh, wait, we're doing the shot. Oh, wait, we're doing the
Okay,
picture.
everybody throw up their gang signs.
Okay.
PPG
All right.
Grandpa in the house.
Pardon me.
Ready? 1, 2. Brian, look up. Perfect.
I heard the click, so I know that happened.
Okay. Thank you, JP. You're awesome.
All right.
But I know JP likes my pictures better.
I love your picture. man.
Hey, see this works out too because we have 2 blank down below. So we're going to be putting something down there for our actual thumbnail,
All
which
right.
we actually use Thumbnail Maker
Yeah.
on the App Store. So that's pretty cool. All right, spin the wheel whenever you want to. While you're spinning, I want to give another shout out to Kent Stamey for giving us $5 in the super chat. Will Fly, he's donated $5. We appreciate you. Your Dan Keys Garcia, $9.95. Bill H, $5. John Wayne, $19.99, and Tommy Mosley, $19.99. With these donations, we're able to give out a bunch of these prizes, and we are able to buy prizes and give
Right.
them out. Next week, we're also going to be giving away
No.
customized flag.
Hey,
Oh.
just a quick heads up for everyone in the chat. If you're using cuss words, they're probably going to get flagged, just so you know.
Yeah.
I know that the particular one I'm talking about was a joke, but it's asking us to flag it. So just a heads up. Sorry.
There you go.
We're donkeys again.
Thank you, Shane.
Your Dan Keys, you get to get your
Come on, Tim. Come on, Tim.
your quick mix bottle back again.
Tim.
No,
Tim.
Tim Curran.
Tim Curran.
Let's go.
no, it's gonna be Tim.
All right, Tim.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey.
Congrats, Tim.
Tim, you have
something
a
to get.
choice
Congratulations, Tim.
Yeah.
of paramotorman.com or a quick to mix gas oil mixer. If you're in the chat, say something. If you don't want it, you don't have to say anything, and we'll spin again in just a couple of, well, in about 30 seconds. So once again, we appreciate the people that have given things to us.
He's in the
and
chat.
another thing. Okay.
Tim Curran is in the chat. He didn't say what he wanted though. Let me ask Cole.
So once again, we appreciate Robert Wheeler with great3d.com giving us that $25 gift card. Paraswag USA, we're going to give away another t-shirt. Paraswag USA is giving us the quick to mix bottle.
Cool.
All right, so he said he already has the mixer, so I'm guessing he wants the other.
The paramotorman.com. Tim, do you want the paramotorman.com?
Real quick, Dave Wolf, Paramotor Crazy, talked to Tim Gaskin, who is on his final chemo day today and is doing great, and all of his numbers look terrific.
Awesome. Prayers up. Prayers up. Absolutely.
He said, "Yep." He took the .com.
Okay, Tim, do me a favor, email me, ppggrandpa@gmail.com. Let me know what URL you want me to forward that to. So if you want it to go to your Instagram account, your Twitter account, your Facebook, your YouTube, whatever you want me to forward it to. And I don't mind forwarding it to something different once a month. I mean, don't change it like, every 2 days. But if you wanted, if you have it on your Facebook and you're like, I think it'd be better on my YouTube, go ahead and just send me another email and I'll forward it to you. That's good for about 6 months, maybe longer. I'm not sure, but at least 6 months. Next week we'll do, you know what? We haven't done a girl one. So let's go ahead and spin again. Let's see if we can find a girl that will take a paramotor girl or paramotorwoman.com. Let's go ahead and
Off
spin.
of it landing on a girl.
So we're going to take everybody off, put the women off the wheel.
No, I tell you what, do the quick spin. If it spins up, do the 2 second or 5 second one, instead of do the minute one, just do the quick spin. Spin time 0. All right, this can be quick. All right, Dar Anthony. Do you want a paramotor girl or paramotor woman? If no, we'll spin again and shoot it again.
I thought we were spinning until we land on the girl.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
JP already spun again.
All right, go ahead. All right, do it again then.
We're spinning until we get a woman. We might be here for a minute.
Yeah. Do I have?
All right.
Take
So in the chat right now, if you're a woman, can you please post that you're a woman? What's your YouTube channel name?
Or
Jade is in there. I know she's a woman.
Jade
John
in there?
Wayne, close to a bearded woman.
bearded woman.
Guys, you guys. I don't know. I can't see the wheel really because it's all blurry. Just
That's
saying.
your eyes.
No, you can't see that, Shane. I can't believe you can see that.
I can see it on
Oh,
my
now
little phone.
Wow, there's so much confetti I can't even see.
I know, exactly.
Flying Iowa girl.
Oh.
Flying Iowa. I have no idea.
Well,
I know.
Walter says I'm a woman.
Dar Anthony said pass.
Where's my girls tonight? Where are my girls? Where's Amy? I don't even see Amy on there.
I asked Amy and
Angela.
Mark to come on here, but they said no.
Where's my girls?
Krista.
I think we have all guys on here. I don't even see my girls.
I think I'm breaking the internet.
Oh,
I don't think this is gonna work. It's not gonna work.
I think it's going to be rigged tonight. We only got one woman in the chat.
All right. So we only have one woman in the chat. Is that true?
We only have one responding, Jade.
Jade?
I say we just give it to Jade.
All right.
Yeah.
This one.
We got a couple people out there saying they claim to be a woman, but
I think so.
Do you want paramotorgirl.com or paramotorwoman.com? Just email me at ppggrandpa@gmail.com and let me know that you won.
congratulations, Jade. Woo! Woo!
And we'll spin again. We'll have another one for next week, either girl or woman.com if someone out there wants that. This next one is going to be the t-shirt, but we're not going to use a spinning wheel for this one. All right.
Oh, you're not?
No, we are not. This is.
Oh, now we got another woman in the chat.
What? Who's in there?
Cupcake
Do we?
Krista.
How about this? How about Cupcake Krista? If you're in the chat and you want the other .com, let me know, and we'll give you that one.
I want it to be ppgshane.com. I'm just curious.
We'll talk about that one in just a moment.
Oh,
So this is something that I wanted to put out here because I've gained a bunch of weight. I've tried so many different ways of losing weight, and I figured that one way of doing it is putting what I'm doing out here. And I even got the .com, ppgbootcamp.com. What I am doing is I'm going to be putting together a, old grandpa, older guy type of thing that wants to get into paramotors. What do we need to do to help you lose weight, gain some muscle and stuff like that? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share with you a little video that I put together because last week when we were on with Jordan, I jumped on the scale and I was agog. Is that a word? Agog? I was. So what I want to do is I want to play this. I'll show you the weight that I was last week. And to win this shirt, what I want you to do, because I'm going to go out here live, I'm going to step on the scale. Whoever's the closest to my weight tonight, and I'm going to do this every week, will win the t-shirt. Now, here's the clincher. If I do not lose weight, if I stagnate, if I plateau, everyone that's in the chat, I will send them a free t-shirt. I'm putting that out here right now. Okay, guys? Even on the panel, everybody that's on the chat in the panel, I'll send them a free t-shirt if next week I don't lose weight. And my plan is to get down to 194 pounds. But let me go ahead and play this real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. Hey guys, so last week after the show, I stepped on the scale. 263.5 pounds. I checked my fasting blood glucose and it was 113. I tried putting on my medium shirt and my 32 pants and, well, they didn't fit very well. I mean, embarrassing. So I'm going to put this in my closet and I will try that again in 30 days. So what am I wearing now? I'm wearing 4XL shirts and 40 size pants. This is what I look like right now in my everyday uniform. Not too bad. All right, it's absolutely horrible. And that's why I'm doing this. This will be the last time I am this big. So I come up with a plan that's going to help me lose weight and help you too. So we got the ppgbootcamp.com. That's what I'm going to be working on. So that's the reason why also too I have my...
You muted yourself.
Yeah, hey Sean, you're muted.
There we go. Oops. Quiet. So now I'm on my cell phone, so I can come over here and step on the scale. All right. So you guys in the chat real quick, you got 30 seconds. How much do you think I've lost since last week to today? What do you think I weigh right now? Whoever gets the weight as close as possible. Dogs, why did you come in here? Oh, because I opened up the door. Whoever gets as close as possible to what I weigh now will win this t-shirt. Now, next week, we're going to be giving away another t-shirt, but it's going to be a ClearProp t-shirt for whoever wins this. Oh, here's our little thing that we got going on. We got the Paramotor games too we got to talk about. All right, is anybody putting any weights in the chat? I can't see.
Yeah, oh yeah. They're rolling in.
Bill H thinks he turned into a baby. You only weigh 4 pounds now.
I think
I'm
you
so
actually went up. I'm gonna say 280.
Whoa.
Oh,
What?
hey, that's possible. 57.6, and we're not talking about kilos. We're talking about pounds.
Yeah, we're talking about pounds here.
I'm just kidding.
And we're talking about my weight, not how much I've lost, but how much I weigh right now.
Sandor said less than a fresh breeze.
Not by much from what I heard. Oh, and here's my setup.
For you to put yourself out there like this, Sean, man, I know that's tough to do.
This is not what I wanted to do. This right here, like I said, we're going to be getting 1,500 people that are going to watch this or listen to this. I'm doing this because I need to do something. I mean, I got grandkids, I got a wife, I got dogs. You know, I need to. I need. All right, guys.
When I broke my leg, I was down to 185 and holding that pretty good. And I can tell you, I put on about 30 pounds in 7 months.
That's not good.
It sucks. I know. So I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I got to do something because it's just not healthy. It's not good. It's not fair. If everybody's done putting their, is everybody done? I can't tell. Anybody else?
Great, go
I
ahead.
don't know if everybody's done, but you got a lot of numbers out there.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So let's go ahead and step on the scale. And because, if I'm going to be doing tandems, I need to be back under 200 pounds. Before this whole COVID thing, I was under 200 pounds and I got up to 275 was my highest. And this is not good. All right, guys, here we go.
Drum roll. Oh! Oh!
Oh,
It keeps moving. 57.
what's? I said 254. Who said
Jack Wallace.
257?
Jack Wallace, Tyler,
Mark H.
Dar Anthony.
Tyler. Dragon Campers, your
Yeah.
son. Oh,
Son, you.
he's probably in the room watching.
He's not even here.
There
I'm
was
just
quite a
kidding.
few. What was the final number? With the point.
Yeah, Dar Anthony says 257.6.
Yeah, I got
You're muted, Sean.
Hold on, I'm trying to get back to the computer and unmute myself.
Tyler.
Hold on.
Tyler said 257.2 and Jack said 257.6.
So did Dar. Anthony.
So did Dar. He said it first in my chat.
Chat.
Hey.
Echo.
There, I just turned off my phone, so
Oh,
I'm
it's
back
kinda
on
fun.
the computer.
So what was the point? 257 point.
7.
Was that what it was?
Oh, we got two people tied for it.
Do we really have two people tied for that?
Two people said 257.6, right?
Wow.
But it was 257.7, right? What was the point?
I don't know. Can we go back?
It was 257.7. Yeah.
Two people in the chat picked 257.6.
So they're the closest for sure. Dar and
I can make a wheel with
Tyler.
names.
I'm sorry, Jack.
Yeah, Jack.
Jack and Dar.
Did I make another wheel with two names?
Yeah.
First person.
But I like Walter's optimism. He had you down for 236.
That's nice.
Now we're getting into my range.
So who's in the wheel? Dar and Jack?
Is that what it is? I
Yes.
How about everyone that was in the 257 range?
John Wayne said 258 is closer than 257.7.
well, let's put him in. I mean, whatever you guys think. I mean, this right here, I'm putting myself out here because I want the world to know what I'm doing and I can't go back on it now. I kind of screwed the pooch here. It's like I put it out here. This is what I'm doing. This is where I was last week. This is where I am now. And if I don't lose the weight, we're going to continue to do this too until I get down to 194. That's 70 pounds from last week.
194?
194 I'm going to get down to.
Holy.
In the Marine Corps, I was 168 the entire time, and I was just ripped muscle guy.
In high school, I was 194.
So this is what I think I really need to do.
Do what you gotta do. We're right
That's
behind
70
you.
pounds. So for $100 cash, what episode in the future will I say I'm down to 194? Now you got to remember, I was under 200 pounds when I first started this podcast thing back last year, or a couple months before that. I think it was.
Mark H wants to know how tall you are.
6'2" and some change. So
what, you want us to pick the episode number that you're going to hit your target weight under 200?
what episode will I be under 200 pounds? Will I be in Wonderland? And the way we're going to find that is when you make a review for this audio podcast on iTunes. Say, we love your podcast, 5 stars. You'll be under 200 pounds on episode blah, and you'll be entered. And that'll be $100 cash. Cash App that to you.
I say 75.
I'm going with 69. I just like that number.
Yeah.
And if you guys do that, if you put in the reviews, you will be in there. If only one person does it and they're way off, it doesn't make any difference. They won $100. So, and that's $100 is $100. That's cash. I'm not going to do no whatever. Wow. Got a lot of text and stuff. Oh, Tommy texted me too. Hey, Tommy, I just saw your text. Sorry about that. Mark and Amy have a conference. Won't be able to, and Amy's finishing a project. Well,
Brian.
Yeah, I just saw your comment.
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
wait, did somebody comment something? Did I miss something? What did I miss?
Nothing.
It's
Move
PPG rated.
Yes, it's PPG rated.
Okay. I appreciate you guys putting the episode that you think I'll be under 200 pounds in the chat, but to be entered into the $100 cash, I need you to please rate our podcast on iTunes. It's PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast. And anybody that does that, if you please give me the 5 stars. We already have over 10. I think we have 10 5-star ratings right now on that. So thank you. You know what? How about this? Anybody that does the rating, I will make a $50 cash. So even if you rated our thing from the last year, you're entered. Just any rating, 5-star, of course, any rating. Even if you just said, hey, this is really cool, I'll put you in a $50 drawing. And anybody that guesses correctly at when I get under 200 pounds, I'll give you $100 cash. Sounds fun, huh? All right, there we go. I put myself out there. We said that we had 2 people that are close. Are we spinning for those 2 people, or how are we going to spin for this t-shirt then? How have we decided that?
I can, whatever you guys want to do.
I put myself out there. You guys put it together for a spinning wheel, whoever wins.
Okay, who were the 2? Who were the? It was Jack and someone.
Oh, what we're talking about? Who guessed closest on the weight?
Yeah, Jack and Dar.
Jack and Dar.
Okay.
Let's see.
I also had Tyler and Matt and Mark were kind of close.
If you think that you want to put on the
5?
wheel, that's up to you guys. I'll let you guys
What do you think, Brian?
decide.
Shane.
Hey, whoever is the closest, I say we put them on there within.
Yeah.
Within 1 pound?
Yeah, within 1 pound. Yeah.
Okay.
So whoever picked anything between 257.0 and 258, basically.
Yes. Let's just go with it.
All right. So 257 to 258. I have. Let me get to the beginning. I got the first one is Mark H at 257. We got Tyler Vowles at 257. Will Fly at 258.
Hang on.
Phil,
Mark H.
Yeah, Mark H.
Okay.
And what was, I'm going to write this down. What was my actual weight? I didn't see it.
257.7.
Yep. All right. So anything between 257.0 and 258.0, we have Mark H, Tyler V, Will Fly, Phil H, Dragon Campers. Let me know if I need to slow down. So close. 258.1 Will Fly. Can't count it. Let's see. 257.6 is Dar Anthony. 257.2 Tyler V. Jack Wallace, 257.6. And that's all I've got. No, wait, Matt Russ, 258.
Correct. I just saw that. We almost have 40 thumbs up, by the way.
Thank you guys. I appreciate that.
We're at 39.
Keegen, thank you so much for hanging with us. We appreciate you. You're a honorary co-host right now for hanging with us through all this stuff.
Yeah, we're supposed to. I thought we. The spinny thing kind of took over.
That's all I got, JP.
All right, so let's go ahead and spin for the last T-shirt. We appreciate y'all doing this with us.
Double check me, Brian. Ready? Does that look great?
Oh, that's some big pie pieces right there.
Be kind of hard. I have to go back through them all one at a time.
Okay. It's good. We're gonna make this a long spin since it's for we good?
Sounds good.
Hit it. Go.
I believe so.
And once again, while we're spinning, thank you, Kent Stamey, for the donation. Will Fly, your Yankees, Garcia, Bill H, John Wayne, Tommy Mosley. We appreciate you guys helping out. Your donations are helping sending out prizes and also buying prizes to give out on this podcast.
All right. Who's it going to be?
And thank you, great3d.com, Robert Wheeler, for the gift card, and Mark and Amy George at Paraswag USA.
Will Fly.
I believe Will Fly is going to get it.
Will Fly.
For sure. Winner, chicken dinner.
Chicken dinner. Chicken dinner.
Will
He put out a
Fly.
pretty good video the other day. I really enjoyed it. The
Oh,
sod
yeah?
farm video.
Okay, where can we find him? Let's give him a little plug. Will Fly.
Yeah, Will
on
Fly.
YouTube?
He's on YouTube.
Will Fly on
Yep.
YouTube.
Will Fly also won the phone lasso.
Yay.
So I'll be able to put both those things in one package.
Cool. There you go then.
That's right, Will Fly. Oh,
And
No,
Will-
that's not him.
What's that?
Trying to give him a little plug here.
Oh, and Will Fly also donated. So thank you. So you got 2 prizes and you donated. You're awesome. How'd you do that? Oh, because you got 2 spins on the wheel.
That's him.
Yay, that's him. Yep.
Yeah. He puts out some really good videos, man. There's a few people that I watch their videos. And I'm like, man, one day I hope I put out as good a content as they do.
Nice.
I hope you start watching mine one day. Jesus.
Yeah. You make videos?
You make videos?
I'm just kidding, man.
That's so funny.
If I want to learn how to cook something or go in the water during an SIV, I know where to watch.
Yeah.
Oh, he just said he doesn't want the shirt. Oh, you're killing me, guys.
Oh,
He's donating the shirt to next week's show.
okay. He can do that. So we'll have a extra large I Fly a Latte shirt for next week, courtesy of Will Fly and Paraswag USA. Also, real quick, Paramotor NC, I have your package here from your shirt that you won last week. Please email me, ppggrandpa@gmail.com. Let me know that you won last week and give me your mailing address, please, so I can send out your shirt. All right. We have Keegen, our honorary co-host, since you've been so kind, just relaxing and not yelling at us for taking up your time here. But we do definitely appreciate you, and you seem like you got lots of stuff to talk about. You said that you'll be on here all night long. So what I will do is I'll open up the chat for everyone. So if you want to join us and talk with us, you are more than welcome to. This is all about paramotors. So remember, we're just talking paramotors tonight. We're not talking about anything else. No off-topic stuff until we go offline. So
Okay.
here's the meeting ID and the password. It's in the chat now. Come on in, join us, and ask Keegan some questions.
Yeah,
Keegan?
JP.
Hey guys, I'm gonna head out. Great show as always.
JP.
Look forward to it every Monday night. Keegan, thanks for coming on, dude. It was
See ya.
a
Thanks.
pleasure getting to know you, dude.
Thank you, JP.
Nice to get to know you as
Thank you
well.
for everything. We appreciate you.
Love you, man.
Thanks, JP. You're a real spin.
Did there. You're
All
king
right.
of news, Shane.
Keegan, one of the things that we talked about also is a auto reserve project that kicks out automatically if you cannot pull your reserve. What is that project about? And you're developing it yourself, correct?
Yeah, so I mean, it was just a project. I've stopped developing it now, but it was a project actually for English. There was a we had to basically do a design report, and so I couldn't figure out what to do. And then after I had my gray out while trying to do a SAT, I guess. I decided, hey, that would actually be a really good thing. Would be to have an automatic reserve deployment system. And of course, they have these for parachuting, for skydiving. But it's a lot simpler in that because you're coming down straight. You may be kind of spinning around or whatever, but you're coming down towards the ground, and no matter what, you have to deploy a parachute. So basically, what they do there. There are a couple of different ways of doing it actually, but they have what they call an AAD, which is an automatic activation device. A lot of them use pyrotechnic charges to sever like a link, and then they'll have a spring-loaded parachute that'll just shoot out. And it's all based off of altitude and your descent rate. So if your descent rate's too fast and your altitude's too low, the parachute pops out. And that's kind of the where I drew most of the inspiration from, I guess, for it. But the idea was, yeah, if you're pulling too many G's and you do black out, you're pretty much screwed. There's nothing you can do if you black out in this sport while you're in a spiral. You're gonna die from it. So I think that's a problem that's definitely worth fixing. Although it's also a very difficult problem to fix. And so what I ended up, the route I ended up going with this was to create a system that would launch a drag parachute with a line connected to the reserve, basically. And so the line was connected to the reserve in a way that, to the reserve handle, in a way that you can still throw it completely without any interference. So if you still want to manually throw the reserve, of course, that was kind of the key point. One of the key points of the design is that you should be able to throw this reserve manually without any hindrance from the automatic deployment system. But I'll share my screen here and pull up my report. So this is kind of an exploded view of the launching system for the drag parachute.
Use pressurized gas.
Yep, it's just pressurized gas canister. So I was gonna do this with originally. This is kind of my original design. This is what I actually made, and it would have I don't know, explode inside of there, but basically it was using a CO2 canister and puncturing the CO2 canister and all that pressurized gas. There's a fairly small pipe back here, and it can very quickly throw out the reserve. But in reality, the amount of gas you can get out of a CO2 canister isn't really a ton. It's enough to eject the drag parachute out to the side of the paramotor and clear the cage easily. And then the drag parachute can do its thing and pull the reserve out.
There's different types of CO2 cartridges, like the ones that inflate my my paramotor.
The flotation.
Yeah.
Yep. So they make larger ones, but still, I mean, from my calculations, you can easily you're getting somewhere around 5 miles per hour when you eject the reserve. not the reserve, but the drag parachute, which is really plenty to shoot it out to the side and open it up. But I wanted something that would shoot it fast enough that when the drag parachute comes out, it'll actually, like, the shock load from reaching the end of the cord would pull out the actual reserve parachute, and then the drag from the drag parachute could carry it out. But I wanted it to be a very quick event because
Have you thought about using, I mean, two words come to mind: potato cannon. And
yeah, sure. I've made a potato cannon, so, but go ahead though. Yeah.
no, I'm just thinking, CO2, like you say, the size of the tank is going to be limiting on the cubic feet per second that you're allowed to exhaust out of that.
Mhm.
So I can see limitations, but when I see these drawings, it just reminds me of a potato gun I made a long time ago.
Sure. Yeah. So one thing, you can't really get a ton of flow out of a CO2 canister very quickly. And
Yeah.
in terms of an actual, like, propulsion device, like, it's enough if you're inflating something. But the other issue with that is piercing it reliably. There's some systems like inflatable suits on motorcycles. If you ride and you get into a wreck, they have a little ball, and when the ball pops out, it'll basically have a spring-loaded fixture that'll pierce the CO2 canister and inflate a suit, and it does it very quickly. But really, at the end of the day, I wanted something that would be able to carry enough punch and be very reliable, and I also wanted it to be refillable because you need something large enough that I don't think this is something that a lot of people would want to carry with them every day, flying. I know, for one, that I like to keep everything simple. Like, if I can fly without anything, I'll try to fly without it. It's kind of a distraction or extra weight or whatever. But so something like this would be much more useful in an SIV, or, somewhere where you might run into this situation a lot. And so I wanted to be refillable then because of that. And so this is like a paintball CO2 canister, where it can be filled with any gas, really, I guess. But it goes up to I forget exactly the pressure range, but it's quite a high pressure, multiple thousand psi. And basically, it's pretty darn simple, but it's just routing that back through here and routing the pressure with just an electric valve, and it routes it back through, and then there's a little piston there, probably in the next. Right
All the effort you put into drawing this up using something like, I guess, Solid Edge or SolidWorks in this case. Yeah. I know you did some research. Did you look at the spring-loaded ballistic recovery systems that they have on the market already?
Yes. And so there were a couple of issues with them. Most of the spring-loaded recovery systems are meant to eject upwards, which doesn't really work very well for us because you might be spinning.
The one I saw was mounted right below his seat and ejected sideways, but that doesn't mean he had it mounted properly on his paramotor.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of them that'll eject out from the seat too, but there's an issue. So one thing is, if you have a spring-loaded anything, right? I mean, you can have like a closing pin or something like that that'll reduce the amount of force required. You got all that energy stored up in the spring. You can pull a closing pin out, and it doesn't require much force to pull the closing pin out, and then spring can release, right? But I wanted to steer away from more parts. The less parts you can have, spring, anything, right? I mean, you can have like a closing pin or something like that that'll reduce the amount of force required. Is my audio? Still playing on your guys'?
Yeah. Somebody, hey, Will, I think I don't know. I noticed Will just came on. There could be somebody else. Their audio is playing in the background.
I wanted to steer away from more parts. The less parts you can have,
Let's see. Yeah.
All right, start muting mics. There we go.
All right, I don't hear it now. Maybe it's just because I stopped talking. I don't know.
No,
Okay.
it's not you. We got new people signing on to the chat to ask you questions and join in.
Okay.
And they didn't have audio muted. It's all
Sure.
good.
So anyway, I think I was talking about you could have like a closing pin or something like that, and that was one of my original designs. And really, I wanted to push it out with a spring because the spring is a simpler device. But once you get into actually releasing the spring, you get into a little bit more complex. You increase the number of parts. I wanted the simplest thing you could possibly have, lowest number of parts, because if it goes wrong in a situation where you need it, you could be dead. So I tried to reduce the number of parts, and pneumatics allows you to do that very easily because you're just flowing through pipes basically, and it's very unlikely to go wrong, I guess. But the main thing is that I'm able to open this up with a simple electric pneumatic valve. So this connects to a controller, and I actually made the microcontroller, which is just a little thing you could like put on your chest. I've flown with it a couple times. It'll also tell you like your altitude and descent rate and whatnot. But I had a couple sensors. I had a BMP 180, which is barometric pressure sensor for altitude, and a XYZ accelerometer. And so basically what this would do is, and then it was all connected to an Arduino Mega. And
so you're out there doing sats and you're actually measuring your G-forces, right?
You could, yeah. I had it set so I could measure like max G-force, it would display max G-force. But what it would do, I would take in data from, I ended up thinking that probably the best way to do it really still is with just descent rate and altitude, because at the end of the day, if you're going down too fast at a low enough altitude, that's pretty much the criteria. But I had 5 different levels of descent rates tied to different altitude ranges, under which it would decide to deploy the reserve parachute, or the drag parachute technically, I guess, but ultimately the reserve parachute. And so it would do this by running through some code that I wrote, and it would average out 150 readings over the barometric pressure sensor in like a few seconds to get an accurate reading. And I could get from 2 points then just the descent rate very quickly. And if the descent rate was above a certain certain cutoff, and you were below a certain altitude, then it would trigger to fire. But one of the things that I actually ended up doing, the only use really for the accelerometer, was starting this whole module out. You want to make sure that you're actually on ground level, because if this thing thinks you're, if you turn it on and you're in the air, and then it zeroes out and it thinks, hey, I'm at 0 AGL, and then you go down fast, but you're actually at like 3,000 feet, it would deploy, right? So you don't want that to happen. That would be very bad. So the accelerometer, as soon as you turn this thing on, that's also when the BMP 180 zeroes out, and you can set a base 0 AGL. And so in order to make sure that was actually set at the correct altitude, though, I had the accelerometers check that all of the accelerations were less than 1.01 G for, well, the Z is always 1.01, but all the other ones are less than 0.01 G for a couple of different readings over a period of time. I don't remember exactly what it was. It was like for 15 seconds or something. So you have to set this thing on your car, set it on the ground to make sure that it zeroes out, so you can't screw that up.
So Keegan, what's your plans, man, when you graduate? You say you got one semester left. You're a mechanical engineering student. You would like to, turn your hobby into your career. I mean, do you have any potential jobs lined up?
As of the moment, no. The job market's not great right now, of course, but I've definitely been interviewing with some companies. And obviously this isn't something that, making paramotor products at all is not something that is going to happen. I mean, other than the strobes. I got strobes, by the way. I make strobes, so anybody wants a strobe, you can buy one. It's going to require a lot of money and a lot of backing, and that's something that's not going to happen right off the bat, obviously, and I understand that. So obviously I'm going to have to work in industry for a while, but I'd like it to be something that interests me.
I kind of feel for you in this time and age of COVID and everything, that people are losing jobs. This is probably not the best time to be graduating from college and trying to find a good career. You may have to take some stepping stones to get there. I don't know, but all I can say is if you're passionate about it and if it's what you really want to do, pursue it.
For sure.
So you're never going to be happier in life if you can do what you love for a living.
So anyway, back to the microcontroller. I guess the only thing left to explain about that is once it actually determines that it's necessary to fire it, all it does is there's a MOSFET in it, an N-channel MOSFET. So it basically closes the circuit to a 9-volt battery, and that flips the valve and fires it off. So that was my design. It was kind of I started going into it, and I didn't realize how complicated it would get, and I went through several different designs, and there were people who did much simpler projects, and I was like, man, I could have done something a lot simpler, but this was a lot of fun, and this took a ton of time for me, but it was a heck of a lot of fun going through it and reading through all of there's a lot of great literature out there about reserve throws, and some studies that have been done specifically over in Britain. There are a lot of different studies that have been done, and I feel like I gained a ton of knowledge by doing it, at least. So it was a good project.
Keegan, can I just ask a question? You mentioned drag chute.
Yes.
In drag racing, because I've been involved with it, they now have electronic release chute. Perhaps that could be something for you to look at. In the old days, we used to use a cable. You just pull the cable, and that would release the chute. Well, now they're doing it electronically. I'm not sure exactly how, but it pushes the chute out still with the spring, but the release mechanism is done electronically. Perhaps it could be a simpler form for you to look at.
Yeah, I did look at electronically, like I was saying before, releasing a spring. The main issue I had with that, the number of parts, but also the power requirement is a lot more than something that you end up wanting to carry with you, because it's going to require kind of a heavier battery. But at the end of the day, it's like this thing's pretty big too. Nobody wants to carry that with them. So
yeah, right. The thing is, the spring stays in the case. It doesn't release like the other ones release with the throw out chute. The pilot chute that comes out.
Yeah.
With spring. But the new ones, the spring stays in the container. So all it shoots out is the reserve chute, and of course that pulls the rest of it out.
Yeah, because I've seen those. I mean, there are a lot of videos on YouTube and whatnot of AADs where you can see the spring shoot out with it. I don't know that I've seen any that are like you're talking about, but that sounds
Yeah, Stroud, Stroud. They make it. The electronic ones, I know they do. So you can perhaps look that name up. Yeah, the spring stays in the box, which is a good idea, and just throws out the pilot chute, and the rest gets dragged out. Now, whether that works at slow speeds, I think it still does. But yeah, don't forget drag racing, they do over the 100, 200 miles an hour.
Yeah. That was a huge issue, really, and one which I don't think I could really say that I like solved it. But I mean, this isn't a production unit or anything like that. It was just kind of a design concept. But that's with drag chutes. You need speed for the drag chute to work, and drag is a function of velocity squared. So when you're falling out of the sky, a small drag chute's pretty effective. But paramotor speeds, it's not.
The thing is, the chutes do pop out. I mean, even if the car's going slow and the driver pulls the chute, it'll pop the chute out. It may not inflate; it'll just drag along the ground. But in the air would be a different story.
Yep, sure.
Yeah.
Did you consider shotgun shells for propellant?
Yeah, I actually did. I considered shotgun shells. I considered, charges like cartridges in general. I considered
Estes rockets and stuff.
Yeah, I considered larger like model rocket engines or whatever, even just to increase the volume inside of a container and then push out a piston, instead of drive something directly. But the main thing against that is I thought it would be a good idea, but getting those to fire electronically was difficult for me in like when I was actually making it, which is something that really I didn't ever make this second design that you see, so I probably could have explored that more on the second design, but initially I kind of shot that down as something that I wasn't able to make. But I definitely did think about shooting it out with just an explosive charge that's reliable and it's extremely quick and very powerful. But the other part to that is, who wants to be flying around with an explosive charge, So, I mean, there is that part to it. It may be the most reliable, best solution, but if people don't want to buy it, it doesn't do any good.
When you're riding around with a tank of gas with an internal.
That's true, yeah.
So what's your far out strobe lights you got going on?
So far out strobes that I don't know if this is going to show up really well because the background. There we go. So it's just a strobe I made. I think strobes are a little bit too expensive in this sport for a good strobe. And I thought I could make them a little bit cheaper than I can. But it's still, I think, the cheapest strobe out there. It works really well. If anybody is can't see flashes or whatever, I forget what it's called. Don't look.
About to get flashy.
All right, it's about to get flashy, but it's very bright. It has a double flash. One of the cool things here is I can program it to do whatever flash sequence. It reads in the voltage of the battery, so it can adjust the flash based off of that. After it'll run for about 7 hours or so at room temperature, though I think the cold hurts that a little bit.
How much does it weigh?
It weighs 180 grams. So, I don't know how that compares actually, but it's not heavy.
How does it connect? Does it connect to your helmet or to the frame?
No, it'll strap right on the frame. So there's, you can see the channel. It's just right now I just have for the circular channel, and then there's some grippy, rubbery fabric that'll grip onto a polished metal surface, or carbon fiber or whatever spar you've got, and then it's similar. I had a Hunter strobe. It's pretty similar to the Hunter strobe really in operation and packaging and everything. I think it's definitely bigger, taller, but I think it's a little bit less long. than the Hunter strobe, but otherwise it's pretty similar to that, really. It's just
And
cheaper.
you're selling those right now, correct?
Yes, I am. Yep.
Where can we
Actually, mention this mention this podcast or YouTube video, and you can get one for $40. So
Sweet.
yeah.
What's the regular price on them?
It's $50 right now. So I'm trying to bring the price down. I think the next cheapest is like $72, something like that.
Where do we go to find these? What's the?
They're on Paramotor Things for sale. So yeah.
.com.
No, I mean the group Paramotor Things for Sale Facebook group.
You don't.
Okay.
You don't have a .com?
I do not have a .com. Actually, I mean I do have a Weebly for it, but not the most professional .com site, I guess.
I tell you what I'll do is we'll talk about this later, but I'll get you a .com if you can give me one of those things that I can try out and promote for you.
Sure, that sounds like a deal.
All right.
But
Hey, all I'll say
where's
was
that place again? Where can you get those again?
Paramotor Things for Sale. It's a
Okay.
group on Facebook. Yeah.
So you said one thing earlier that kind of been resonating with me, that people blacking out from G's.
Yeah.
Necessity is the mother of invention.
Yeah.
So if you could somehow come up with a way of monitoring the human body that would use that as an input sensor to your ejection system, you're probably going to have a very limited market, people that are in acro and that kind of thing. But I don't know of one that's on the market.
Yeah, there's not one on the market. I can tell you that. And the issue so far as I've found, determining consciousness, especially like when you've got all kinds of, you're flopping around and everything, doing whatever you're doing, wing over sat, asymmetric spirals, whatever.
Yeah, I have no idea how you would do it, but if you could.
Yeah, so I looked into like monitoring. If you can monitor, oxygen levels or something, they don't drop anywhere close too fast enough, to get a good reading.
Maybe you can get an app, because the new Apple Watches have the oxygen sensor.
Yeah, I don't think it would drop that fast. From what I've read, like oxygen levels, it'll drop in your brain very quickly. But if you're talking about over here on your wrist, it doesn't drop
honestly
that fast.
I think you're diving off into technology that Tesla is developing. With self-driving cars, if they pass out behind the wheel, the car automatically stops and that kind of thing.
I think it's definitely something that in the future, the technology will be. I mean, it's emerging, really. Yeah, like you're saying. I mean, they got to know. I'm sure they got to know with a car that's driving itself. If you're out of it, then they better stop.
We need a self-driving paramotor, one that will take off and land for you automatically.
They got it. It's just not big enough for a person. It's remote control.
Yeah, that's right.
That's cool. So we got a lot of people here right now in the chat that has crossed over from the super chat into our chat here. Anybody in here have any questions? Will Flies here, John Wayne, iPhone.
Yeah, hey, it's Will here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, got you, Will.
Hey,
congratulations, by the way.
Yeah, I'm just glad to be part of the party. Hey, I got a question for Captain there. What is that behind you?
That is my powered parachute.
Man, that is awesome. That
it's
a bullet.
I built it myself, 7.5 years work.
Wow.
Chrome moly, Rotax. She's a
unreal.
heavy unit, 500-foot chute.
You're not proud of it, are you?
No, not at all.
Is that polished aluminum body?
Yes, except for the front, that's fiberglass painted, and the wheel pants. The rest of it's all aluminium over chrome moly.
Sweet.
Rotax 503. A little bit more horsepower would have been good. It weighs about 850 pounds with me and fuel. It's quite a heavy unit. It'll do 32 knots on, no wind assistance. So I'm pretty happy with that. Speed. Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you, Will, for saying that. Yes, it's I'm very passionate about flying, and that's why I built my own craft. I didn't want a so-called buggy or a go-kart in the air. I wanted something that looked like an aircraft.
Walter, your audio sounds really good this week, so glad that you got that fixed.
Hey, we got a question in the chat. They want to know what color does the strobes come in?
Right now, you can have any color you want as long as it's black.
As long as the case is black, the bulb itself, the light itself, what color can the light be?
The LEDs are just white. I don't know like what white there are. There are a million different kinds of white, right? But they're bright white. They're kind of a bluish white. I think as far as the LEDs, that's probably the most visible, the brightest thing you can get for the energy input. But seriously, as far as the cases go, I do have a couple of these in like army green, and I'm definitely going to be making some more in some other colors. I think probably the most requested colors are probably going to be like red and blue. So those will probably be the next big ones that I start making. So
do you 3D print these, or how do you make them?
Yeah, they're 3D printed.
Cool.
That's crazy. That's awesome. Your Dan Keys, I saw you talking a minute ago, but you're muted, man. We didn't hear you.
You got to unmute yourself. Turn there. You
I was talking to my family. I mean, to my daughter.
Okay.
I don't mind here. It's a lot of noise. That's why I don't want to keep you up having the noise of the kids.
No cursing.
PG, fly, baby, fly, baby, fly. You got it? Hey, fly, baby, fly.
Hey, to go back to the color of lights, any chance you can get them in green and red as side markers?
Ah, yes.
Green and red LEDs.
Yeah, the green and red.
Yeah.
You do like, what are they on the airplanes? Are they solid on the airplanes, or do they?
Yeah, they're solid on the wingtips.
Okay, can you do red and green solid, and then the strobe light? Can you like have all three? Could you do something like that for us?
That would be interesting. So I think the issue with that then would be like, as far as, well, for one, the power drain of that's going to be a lot more to have one, on constantly. Like these are flashing for like 75 milliseconds per flash. So the power drain's very low. But yeah, definitely.
It only would fly for what, 30 minutes after dark.
Oh
so.
yeah. I mean, if you want to charge it each time, then heck yeah, I can.
Yeah.
But
if they were left on solid, would that be like 2 hours worth, since it's 7 hours flashing, or what?
I don't even think it would be 2 hours worth, because yeah, I mean, they're very quick flashes with a decent amount of time in between. It might be though, so the thing is also, these flashes are very bright because there's a lot of current passing through the LEDs for a very short period of time. Having the LEDs, the like green or red LEDs on, you'd have to pass a lower current through them so they don't heat up too much, for a constant period of time. So really, they'd probably stay on for plenty long. I don't really know. I don't know exactly what that would be. It's a 2,500 milliamp hour battery.
It doesn't need to be that bright. I mean, the flashing strobe is supposed to be visible from like 3 miles away.
Yeah, 3 nautical miles. Yep.
But to use it as a red or green wingtip marker, obviously it doesn't need to be visible nearly as far away.
No, that's just pretty much for us going, hey, cool, look, we're almost like an airplane.
Did
Actually,
you
I haven't
see
seen those on the market.
Trike Flyers coloured ones he put on? They were some form of LED, but one was red and one was white. So he put one, on each side of his cage. And but he didn't say where he got them from. He did buy them, and I think they were solid, but they also could flash. Yeah, the latest Trike Flyer video shows him, he's got them on there, but he doesn't explain where they're from. So we'll have to get him personally and ask him. And I think he bought it, just something he bought at Lowe's or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, as far as strobes go, there's a lot of good stuff. As far, with the exception of the 3-mile visibility criteria, there's a lot of good stuff that's on Amazon for like bicycles and stuff like that make really good marker strobes. But I had a question. We've been talking a lot about your flights and your experience and a couple of your mishaps, but what happened with your training? I mean, did you get training somewhere, or did you self-train, or
No, I got training. I trained at in Fowler, Illinois with Mike Mixer.
Okay.
Discover PPG.
Okay, sure, heard of them.
Yeah. And I thought they did a good job and everything. So.
So how old were you when you trained with them?
I was 18.
That's awesome, man. I wish I would have got into this when I was 18. Golly.
No, every time I hear that, I'm like, oh, why didn't I do that?
No, I was chasing girls, driving motorcycles.
No, the best part was he's 22 now and has had 4 wings. Yeah, math on that.
It seems like a wing a year seems to be what about normal for people. A wing a year.
Not this blue collar.
That's if you're buying on eBay for $400, maybe.
Yeah. Good.
Well, I mean, I've never bought a wing new. I would never do that. But you buy a wing for $1,500 or something and sell it for $1,200 the next year. That's not that big of a loss.
Money wise, that makes sense. But in my training, they taught us one thing: there's one thing you don't skimp on, and that's the wing. You can buy a used motor because you only need it to get airborne and climb, but the wing is something you want to spend your money on.
So I get that, but most of the
used.
I mean, most of the used wings probably on market are somewhere between like maybe 50 and 150 hours, and most of the manufacturers say they're good for at least 300 hours.
For sure.
Some of the lightweight fabrics maybe wear out a little bit quicker, but so I mean, certainly if I were to get a wing and I find that it hangs back very badly on launch or something like that, I'd definitely send it in and get it retrimmed or something. But for the most part, I'm probably not going to max out the hours on a wing, so there's nothing to worry about too much,
Yeah,
as long
that's
as
definitely a smart move. Financially, that's definitely a smart move. But I would suggest if you're going to buy used wings and actually fly them versus using them for kiting, definitely
to get it inspected.
Get it inspected as part of the purchase. I mean, it's less than $200, and you don't have to wait a week or two on it.
And it can save you a bunch of failed launches too.
Well,
sure.
Well, here's something for you guys. I got a brand new Roadster 3 in 2019. At the end of the year, in 1 year, I sent it in, and it was deemed not flyable because of the lines and a bunch of other things. But it was a brand new wing at the beginning of the year. So if I was not honest and I decided to sell it and said, hey, I got a wing here, I just bought it for $3,400 or whatever it was, I'm going to sell it for, $29,000, somebody would buy it and they would take it up. And if they did any type of acro, it's very possible that one of the lines would snap, because that's one of the reasons why it failed, is because the lines were kind of wore out because I did a lot of acro. So that's something to think about too out there. If you're going to be buying something to do acro on, it's very possible that wing, if they're not honest, could be failed, even though it's
can that wing do 257 pounds in acro, Shane?
It is. When I talked with them, I said that it cost about $700 to get new lines and the other things fixed on it to be back to airworthy. However, they said if you're just going to be flying around doing foot drags, it should be, fine for another, year or 50 or hours or under. So I am only using that when I go out to the sod farm and I just foot drag. So no more SIVs until I get the lines fixed. So once I get the lines fixed, the porosity is like it's brand new, even though it has over 300 hours. So once I get the lines fixed, and that's one of the things I've heard also too, is that the lines seem to be the first things that go out. And I send it out to Cloud9, but there's a couple other places that you can send your wing out to that will check the porosity. And they said the porosity is fine. It's just your lines are stretched out because you did so much acro. I did a couple of SIVs. And of course, after my SIVs, I went out and did more acro. With my new wing that I just got, I decided that I don't need to do a bunch of acro. I took it out for one SIV course, just to check it out to see the type of things that it can do. And Shane saw that it can't do something that my Roadster could do, trying to do a horseshoe. Put those two A lines together and the whole thing collapsed. So I'm glad that I went to the SIV to find out that. And now I just fly along like, just an old grandpa flying along, enjoying himself. But when you're out there and you're getting a used wing, even if it's brand new, even within 1 year, it could be completely destroyed. So my suggestion on what I've learned over this last year is if you do get a brand new used wing, the first thing you do is send it off to Cloud9 and have them do a test on it to make sure everything works and everything's to par.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, it doesn't matter if the person you're buying the wing from is somebody you trust or not. I mean, it's just good practice if you're buying a used wing to have it tested out. I mean, like you said, they test the porosity, they test the line length, and they're supposed to intentionally break a line or two to make sure it breaks at the right tension.
They broke mine. They said that it broke at too low of. They got a scale of how long or what poundage it should break in, and my poundage was way under the weight limit. It's like each line is supposed to hold like 500 pounds, and it broke at at least 500 pounds, 500 to 800 pounds or something like that, and it broke at 300 or 400. So to me, each line still being able to carry 500 pounds, I'm not worried about it. It's not going to snap. But if I go up there and do some SIVs or do some acro on it, it could snap. I mean, one of the things that didn't JP's line snap? Then that's the reason why he had to throw his reserve. I don't remember what.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, so it's very possible something like that could happen. It only cost $175 to send it in. They do all the tests and everything. They send it back to you. That's a good deal to know that, hey, I'm safe.
Yeah, do the right thing. Check yourself. Get it inspected. If you're buying a used wing, there's, like you say, there's tons of used wings on the market. Somebody bought it, they flew it 3 times, and they quit flying for whatever reason. It was properly stored. There's tons of wings out there you can save money on.
Yeah.
But don't take somebody's word on it. Send it off, have it tested, and you're good to go.
Exactly. Or we just stopped talking. So Keegen, you said that you had 4 wings, right? Did you get any of them inspected? You got them all used? Did you repair anything yourself? What happened to your 4 wings?
So I've never repaired anything myself with the wings, other than minor, like less than probably less than like half a square centimeter pinholes, basically, with ripstop tape. But apart from that, I've never had to repair anything except for the Roadster 2, which was on a launch, the wing kind of hang back, and I gave it power, and the riser basically like pushed, or my lines probably pushed the cage piece into the prop, and I pulled a cell out, and I sent that off to Cloud9, and they did a great job repairing it and everything, and checked the wing out then. So apart from that, I bought the Electra from I bought the Electra in training. It was used, but I trusted them to check it out. Of course, they're not really, Discover PPG doesn't inspect wings, but I trusted them at the time at least to tell me if it was good, and I didn't have any problems with it, of course.
Here's something that I didn't know either until I sent my wing back, or since I sent my wing in, that a lot of these places that actually work on these gliders, they have a bunch that are for sale for really cheap. Like I looked on Cloud9's used gliders, you can get they fix it all up and it's like $1,900 for a great glider with a bag and everything else. So that's something that you might want to check out too, is actually going to Cloud9 and getting a used or repaired wing that somebody didn't want or didn't want to pay for. So
well, Eric Farewell is not going to be very happy about you telling me that, because I just bought a brand new wing from him. No, I'm kidding. It's custom colors. And I'm happy to announce today is the day that it's supposed to be completed in Europe. So hopefully I'll be getting my new Spider 3 very soon.
Ooh, that's going to be nice. So what do you have right now?
I've been flying a Mojo for a year, a little over a year. That was my first wing. And like Keegan, I bought it used, but I bought it from Aviator, and they had opened it up as a brand new wing in my class. So I knew the entire history of it. That being said, one of the guys in my class got 3 of the A lines in his prop, and Eric had to fly it off to, what did you say? It was Cloud9?
Cloud9 is one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So he flew, he jumped in his RV, flew it down there, and had it back the next day. They replaced those lines on it. But, I saved several $100s on a used wing. It was custom colors. I just like the blue.
Yeah, if you can get them from like Aviator or some a group that actually gets them and takes care of them, that's one thing. Getting them off of eBay, that's another.
Exactly. I think that's kind of the point I was trying to bring up. If you go get it on Craigslist, even if it's your buddy and he tells you he's taking good care of it and you trust him, it could be a kind of case like Sean said, that the wing is, even though he thinks it's in good shape, is still near the limits of its use without some repair, and they not know it. So it's just better to protect yourself.
I had no idea. I mean, I was flying that up to the day I sent it in, because, had to send it in. And I had no idea that it was not airworthy. I mean, because I've been flying it. I mean, yeah, I noticed that it kind of hangs back a little bit. It's not as crisp as it was. Has some mud on it, but hey, when you fly $300 in a year, you're gonna get some mud on it and stuff. I never got any holes in it though, none. Keegan, you said that you had some holes. Did you make the holes for some reason, or did they come with holes? I mean, why'd you repair it?
Well, I repaired it because there were the holes there. I don't know how they happened,
Grasshoppers.
But yeah, absolutely could have been grasshoppers, and in a lot of fields that I take off from, there are plenty of grasshoppers that'll chew their way out, or
They'll
they
eat
find
your
little
way right
bugs in
out.
there, and difficult to get them out oftentimes. And I'm pretty meticulous about trying to get them out, but you can't find every last one of them. And there'll just be pinholes in there, and I mean, oftentimes it's between the nylon. It's just the like actual thread section where you just have kind of the I don't know what to call it, but the material that isn't the thread, like the square. Oftentimes the holes were smaller than the actual square, and I just tape them up on both sides or whatever. And it usually, you're just kiting and you look and you see a little bit of sun. And but I always, after like 20 hours or so, I'll just set out my wing and just very meticulously, lay down on the thing and scour every inch of it with a flashlight and try to find any little holes, because they're all just stress risers.
Hey, good for you, man.
Yeah, real quick, just wondering for everybody that's on here, and if you're still in the chat, how often do you actually go through and really physically look at your wing, your risers, your lines? Because I have to admit, that's one thing that I'm not doing as much as I guess I should. How often do you do it, and how much time does it take? Anybody?
I don't I check mine every now and then, but not like I should.
I just go.
Definitely.
Shane, what was your shoot like when you had it relined? Was it totally different?
I didn't get mine relined.
Before it, because I have to build up my trust of fly, because I only have one fly off with somebody teaching me what to do. After that fly, I have to learn myself to go. That's why I fly, baby, fly. And then what made me feel so much confidence is like kiting a lot. And then every time that I check my wind, I checking all the time I'm gonna fly. I check my lines. If I have twist line, I can twist so easy because I learned it from heart, every point and everything in my wind. Before any launch I'm gonna do, I spend maybe 10 minutes or 7 minutes doing it, no more.
Yeah, I've only checked my wing a few times, and that's mainly been after incidents. I had a failed launch and didn't get my engine cut off quick enough, and I heard one or two little clicks as the wing came over, knowing that the prop hit a riser. You obviously inspect them very good. After I crashed into the bale of hay, I checked my wing real good. Just so basically after incidents. But that being said, I've only got 40 hours on my wing, and I've checked it a few times. So, every time I kite it, I look up, look at my risers, look for pinholes, sunlight, like you say. But I don't check it very, extremely often, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I think that's a good point as far as, when you check it. I mean, basically when you do pre-kite, that's kind of part of the process, my process anyways. I mean, I'm looking at the wing, the big picture, and then of course the lines, but my wing's not very old either. And the last time I did a really good inspection was when I had to replace 3 of the lines, but and like after an incident, like what you were saying.
Did you replace them yourself?
I did.
Wow.
Yeah, I did.
How confident are you in replacing lines? I mean, did you have
about 40% or so? Confident enough, to trust that the knots were going to hold.
Can I ask where you order from? I know about Lines in a Day is the only one I know.
Michelle. That's who I order it from. Yeah, Lines in a Day. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and unfortunately, I've gotten pretty good at reading that. That's got the most confusing diagram of, the diagram or the schematic of what line goes where, But yeah, it's certainly something that, I mean, basically what I do when I replace a line is I take a lot of pre-pictures and a lot of video, just to make sure everything's going back exactly the way it was. If it's a complicated repair, I had to replace, I want to say last time I had to replace a tip steering line, and that's the most difficult line I've had to replace to date, but I did it.
I'm too scared. I'm a scaredy pants when it comes to things like that. I'll just send it in and get it fixed. It's so cheap to get things fixed. When I burned that Roadster 3's panel completely, like a good foot hole, because it hit my muffler. When I sent it in, they fixed. I mean, it was so cheap. I think it was like $10
Wow.
to fix a panel.
You have more than one wing, Sean?
Yeah, I got the Roadster 3 and I got the Gin Vantage 3. I like the Gin Vantage 3. It only has A's, B's, and C's. It's so light. They're both 28 meter, but the Gin Vantage 3 probably weighs 20 pounds lighter. Not really that much, but I mean, you can feel the difference. When you pick them up, it's like, wow, that's so heavy, my old Roadster. This is so light, my Gin Vantage. And it's so lifty. On a nil wind, I could probably take 10 steps and be in the air. When it's only blowing like 1 or 2 miles an hour where you can barely feel it, I can do a reverse with it. It's almost like the Spider 3. I played around with that before too. When my buddies had one, you can pretty much reverse on a 2 mile an hour wind. It's insane how that thing just inflates.
Wow.
Are those sheathed or unsheathed lines on the gin?
They're sheathed.
They are? Okay.
That's a good point too, because I had a choice to go. One of the lines I had to replace was unsheathed, and I replaced them with sheathed lines because 90% of the time, I don't know if it's just me, but 90% of the time, if I ever have a tangle, it's because of an unsheathed line that gets all, knotted up. So I asked the lines in a Dagger, I asked, well, what's the purpose of the unsheathed line? And as far as I was concerned, it came down to maybe some drag. It was reduced drag with the unsheathed lines, but it's nothing that, that would affect me in the type of flying I do. And actually it's made the tangles, I won't say a thing of the past, but it sure reduced a lot of them.
I've noticed that the Gin Vantage, the lines are very thin compared to my Roadster 3. And I think the Roadster 3 and the Spider 3 have about the same size lines and risers. The Gin Vantage, the risers are this big. I mean, they're just so tiny. It's like dainty trying to do reverse. It's like, okay, reverse, there we go. But the Roadster, it's like, you got something to work with, and it has the A's, B's, C's, and D's. But the Vantage is so light, and I was kind of scared of I was kind of worried about going from tip steering, A's, B's, C's, and D's, big old risers, to a Gin Vantage where the risers are about this big, no tip steerings, and there's only A's, B's, and C's. I'm like, this is going to be fun. But once I got up there and started carving around, I'm like, I'm going to use the Roadster 3 for my students coming up, and I'll let them use that to kite.
Dude, I flew the Spider 3 Thanksgiving down at Aviator, and I got about 6 flights in on it, 26 meter, once on a 24 meter. But just the first time I picked the wing up and carried it out to the field to lay it out, I was like, man, this is way lighter than normal. It felt like it was half the weight of my Mojo large. And taking it out there, man, that thing popped right up. Man, I can't wait. It was, with the Mojo, I've got 3 inches of trim, and they basically do nothing. With the Spider, I've got 12, about 8 to 10 inches of trim, and I've also got tip steering, which I didn't have before. So it's going to be an entirely new wing, man. Can't wait.
What color did you get?
That's kind of a super secret. I'm not sure if my parents are watching right now, but I'm gonna do it. It's the colors were picked as a dedication to my late grandfather. He has flown many planes, and it was always a combination of blue and yellow. I'll put it that way. And pretty much everything I own is blue, so it's going to be blue, yellow, blue. So it's going to be pretty awesome.
Excellent.
Can't wait to see it. And you said it's going to say that they got it finished, and then right now they're shipping it over. So you got another week.
Yeah, January 18th is the completion date for Ozone.
Well, how long does it take to ship?
It varies for 4 to 7 days. Eric says half the time it gets lost in the mail. So right now is where I'm supposed to have those fingers crossed. Yeah. But yeah, I should have it. I'm doing an SIV February 5, 6, and 7 down at Skylab with some other good fellows. So I'm hoping to have my Spider 3 to do it on. Obviously, if there's some delays in shipping, I might not have it, and I might have to. But either way, I'll do it on one. I'll rent one if I have to. But I've also got my Mojo. Andrew Fuller is telling me I need to do it on my Spider. Eric Farewell's telling me, man, you got a Mojo. That's what you need to do it on. I don't know. I'm gonna take both.
I mean, you get towed up all day long. I mean, from the time that you get out there till the time that you just can't do it anymore. I mean, they don't say, all right, we're done. You guys are like, I'm done. I just can't do it no more. I mean, you get wore out. You saw Shane and I out there. It's like, geez, wear your butt out.
Oh, dude, I'm not an Energizer Bunny, man. I'm good.
Hey, Brian.
Hey,
Brian. Listen.
Yankees.
He gonna let you do it. He gonna let you do it in the spider, only the frontal, the right side, left side, and that's it.
No horseshoe.
All the full stall. You don't gonna do it in any of these wings that are how you say the wings when they are for paramotors.
Advanced
Flex wings. So.
reflex.
He don't let you do the stalling reflex because this type of wings, they don't love reflex. It's other things I heard about him in one of his videos that he say that for us that do it paramotor with reflex wing is good if we want to do it thermaling, like midday thermaling that don't do it in reflect wings, that do it in for paragliding. Why? It's because what happened with the reflex wing is she want to have the power and she want to have the control. You don't be the guy with the control. She always want to be open. And then everything that she get is like with more energy. You're going to feel it. It's so nice. And with the paragliding wing, she reacting so different. Actually, you saw me a starfish. That's why, I mean, and after she recovered so fast. And it's like, was only 3 seconds when I feel the pops going and coming back and freeze, let it go, and hands up, boom, and everything was right. It's like, man, don't think, don't ask no question when you be there. Just follow that radio, and that radio gonna take you straight in every step. You're gonna be happy on it.
Dude, when I get down, I'm gonna have to change britches, man. I tell you what.
No. You go up in depends.
Okay. That's the secret. All right.
Oh,
Hey.
lordy.
Actually, I have to tell you something. If I go there and you guys are ready in the lake, I can rent a boat that costs for the whole day like $300. I can go in the boat and get to the lake where you guys are. I mean,
why don't you just fly there? Why don't you just fly on your paramotor?
Oh, Shane, shut up, Shane.
when I went to the SIV the first time, we had a couple of people that flew there on their paramotor, so you can do it.
So they have pontoons. They mounted their shoes. You know, do they make those
Hey,
pontoons for paramotor pilots?
I know, huh?
Hey, Shane, you're not supposed to say anything. You're not supposed to say anything, Shane.
I'll Jordan, if you want to fly in together, we'll meet up. We'll do it.
There you go.
Sounds great.
There you go.
And then when you get there, Andrew gonna tell you, hey, Shane, you don't want to go for a ride? Only once. You don't want to go?
Yeah. $100 a tow.
Exactly.
Well, I'm looking forward to coming down to Florida and flying with both of y'all. Shane, I've flown with Jordankis. I hear him calling you Jordan over and over. Is that another name you go by?
Well, it's the American name because everybody have a hard time to pronounce my name in America because it's like your Yankees. What are your Yankees? You know, it's like people have that name so easy. Then that's why I use more in my American life like Jordan, but Jordankis is because that's my mother name. And it's like
yeah, but your explanation of your damn keys makes it so easy.
Right. But you know who gave me that Jordan keys is a guy from California. That is
an American.
Pilot. He's the PPG pilot, and one day he was like laughing with that when you just try to figure it out my name, and you say, "Okay, I got your name, Jordan keys, Jordan keys."
I hope I'm close enough to saying it right when I say it on the show. I apologize if I butcher it.
No. It's great. It's so good. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no doubt.
Muchas gracias, amigo. Muchas gracias. Arroz con frijoles. Arroz con frijoles. Muchas gracias.
There you go.
Rice and beans.
So I have one more question for Keegen, I guess, now that we've been talking about SIVs, that I'm going to have to run here shortly. Are you planning on taking one? Has that been, kind of in in your sight to take one
Yeah,
soon? Or
no,
what?
I definitely want to take one. I don't have like a date picked out to take one or whatnot. But I definitely want to take one as soon as I kind of probably as soon as I get a good engineering job and have a little bit of funds that I can put towards that.
Sure.
But that is absolutely something that, I mean, it's kind of like this is only going to work for people who race cars, I guess. But like, you go to an autocross, you're only ever going to experience what you experience at autocross. You're not going to experience that driving on the road. And I think it's kind of the same way with PPG. You're flying along, you're never going to experience you're never going to get an experience like an SIV course just from flying or doing tricks or whatever. I think an SIV course kind of brings it to a whole nother level, So.
Well,
Yeah.
with IV Keegan, what happened is that you can do a helicopter. You can just get the brake from one side of the wing, brake. You lose the speed, the wing fly around, and when she's coming out this way is when you let the brake go in this way, and then poof, catch it up. Helicopter. Then if you learn it to fly, it's one of the moves more harder to do in the field of the acro. Then it's so many stuff you can do. The things about to lose the speed of your wing and fly, like going full stall. You don't need to go deep full stall. You just need to have the wing like losing the speed, and you can feel like she lose the speed and she get it right here, and you don't need to go flying back, and you let it fly again, and after everything is open again. Then little things that make you build up more your confidence flying. For me, I would like to go to another SIV because to do a move outside of the SIV range, I don't have it yet. I do my turn more close now, but I still outside of there, I don't have it yet. Then I would like to do it again because it's like to build up more and more. I think with the SIV, build up about maybe 2 years of flight for real.
So how many have you had? How many SIVs have you had? Just one. Okay.
But I did it 3 days. First day 5 toes, second day 4 toes, and the last day I did only 2 toes because I was terrible killed. I mean, your brain is drained out because you're gonna feeling something by first time. Your body get rip up right here, get something long in your arm because your line gonna catch your arm here, and you're gonna have nice bruise. I got it. That's graduation. I mean, and you're gonna be tired. Yeah.
It's one of those things that it probably wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to go there one day for your first time just to see what you're getting into.
No, but you'll be sure about something. When Brian see Shane and myself there, he's gonna be like having power all around.
Hey, Shane's awake. How about that? There he is.
Oh yeah. I haven't had to spend 3 days up dealing with a sick dog. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, that sucks, man. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
Everything y'all say about SIVs is a reason I'm taking one. To me, I'm looking at it is it's going to be a confidence builder. It's going to build confidence in my wings' ability to fly in all different situations, and it's going to give me a level of confidence and safety. But more importantly, when I walk out front yard and I see the winds blowing a little bit, I'll be more likely to go flying.
Absolutely. You'd be like,
I think that's what I'm gonna get out of it.
15 miles an hour, no problem. Let's go fly.
Yeah, man, we got this. We can fly with half a wing. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
I am. The thing about it is like you can see the wind. I mean, the windsock that you buy from paraorange.com, that windsock is great because that windsock she's for a low velocity wind. And when she's 90 degrees with the poles, and she's right here, it's about 8 knots an hour. And when she's flapping a lot and doing good, but straight, you can take off anytime because it's like it's laminar, and then the thermal is not going up so fast and don't do nothing. When he's not winging the ground, and he's maybe 2 knots of wing in the ground, just when you're flying, thermal's gonna rise so fast early, like 9 o'clock, thermal is over there. Then you're gonna feel thermally things bumping on you all around. It's funny things. Yeah, nice, interesting.
I've never thermaled. Is anybody on this panel? I know Sean does. I know you fly all day. Who else thermals?
The Gin Vantage is a hybrid. It's a paramotor and mountain wing, so it thermals really well.
In Vale, North Carolina, I thermaled on accident. I let off the gas, let off the throttle, and went up 100 feet. It was yeah, it wasn't really. It hit me, and I was like, "Oh, I don't like that. Don't go over that dark spot no more."
That's something that a lot of people don't know is when you fly over like a pond or any water, you're going to get some serious lift. Keegan, were you going to say something?
Yeah, so I went up one time. It was kind of fairly cloudy, and I went up and I was flying, and then there was a big break in the clouds where I could get up, legally. And I went up and flew, I don't know, it was probably like 7,000 feet or so, way up above. It was beautiful, had a nice big opening so I could I could see the ground and everything, but still up and above the clouds, and, kind of like cloudy on the ground, but sunny up top, it's just amazing. But stayed up there for a bit and almost ran out of gas, and I came down, and it was like 2 o'clock. So, it was fine when I took off because it was cloudy. But the clouds started breaking and everything, and I came back down, kind of over the LZ, and they're like an extra sort of trimmer on the Hadron XX, the flaps, which basically turn it into a PG wing. So you have your regular trims, but then you also have an extra pair of flaps, and they really, you get so much lift. It's such an efficient wing in that configuration, even at 18 meters. And I found some hawks that were buzzing around in a circle, and I just kind of sat up there and thermaled with them for a while. It was pretty great. It was like, I see what you're doing. I can do that too, But I just stayed up there. And then I kind of went away from there, but it was still thermic enough. I went over the LZ, and I just kind of went back and forth. Wasn't even trying to like go in circles or anything, but I went back and forth, and I idled. I wasn't going down at all. So I kind of had to do a couple wing overs or some deeper S turns and stuff to actually get down because there was enough lift. But it was a lot of fun. So.
Can you pull big ears on that wing?
The Hadron XX. Supposedly you can. I have tried pulling big ears. You can probably pull big ears with flaps in, but it's such a it's at high loading for one, but the internal pressure is really high. It's a very fast wing, and I've tried it before, and I'll pull myself up before I do big ears on it.
Really?
Yeah. My Nucleon XX would do big ears all day. You pull the big ears in, and they just stay there. So you didn't have to, you didn't have to keep holding them. You could just let them go, and they'd stay big ears, and you just swift pump of the brakes and let them out. But
with my Gin Vantage, apparently when I pull big ears, they're the biggest ears that anybody's ever seen. Andrew said that many times. He goes, I've never seen big ears that far. I mean, it really goes in so far that it looks like I'm only flying on 40% of my wing. It's
wow,
pretty crazy. I can really dip down too. I can lose some good altitude.
I've never done any of that, man. I've never done big ears. I've never pulled my phone out during flight
yet.
I'm just I'm a newbie. I've been flying over a year. I'm still a newbie.
That's one of the things that you're going to do is when you get up there, he's going to say, pull your phone out and do a selfie.
Yeah.
But like, what phone? I left that bitch on the ground. Oh, sorry.
My Universal is a hybrid, and people think I'm crazy, but I just bought a new one. I've only flown it 3 times, and I went to a bigger wing. That's why people think I'm crazy. But I did that because I plan on getting a trike here real soon. But at any rate, I went up today, and I shouldn't have because it was too windy, and I got stuck. I got stuck in the air, and because it was a new wing, the trimmers are sealed on that because it's PG rated. You got to unseal. So I didn't have any trims to mess with or anything. And anyway, it took me a while to get down.
That's when I had my 2 motor outs today, I took off at like 5:01 or something, and 5:05 I guess, because I had 21 minutes before sunset, and I was like, man, I don't know that I can get back to my LZ before sunset. And I was like, wait, I got a strobe, you know, so I got 30 minutes. But I was still battling a pretty good headwind, and it was pretty gusty, I guess. Not really thermally because it was almost sunset, but I was getting knocked around pretty good. But I still was like, I'm not gonna get back there in time if I don't let out the trims. I like flying. If I'm getting knocked around a little bit, trims out, that's just fine. The wing does a great job of absorbing it. But personally, I prefer to have trims in and active pilot if I'm getting knocked around really good.
Me too.
But it was kind of a matter of like, well, I still have to get back there in time, so I let the trims out, and trying to like active pilot with tip steering, it's like you don't have any control fore aft really, not much at least. But I mean, it did a great job, but I was still getting knocked around a good bit. But you gotta trust the reflex profile, I guess.
That's the most
Yeah.
fun, I tell you. I've really got to the point that I enjoy going up in really bumpy air.
What?
I like roller coasters. So once I realized that trust your wing, trust your equipment, and you know what it can do, I got into some air that the wing would be almost going in front of me, back, side, and I'm just like, this is fun.
Screw that, dude. In the back of my mind, I'm always gonna be thinking gift wrap. And I don't want any part of that. The wing in front of me.
I was flying straight, and the thing was doing this above me, taking little wingtip collapses and going all over. It's fun. I know what it can do, and it can do a lot more in windy or gustier. And I have a steerable reserve, so I'm not really too scared. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I'm going to go down.
This is what an SIV class does for you.
Yes, it does.
It makes you
all
crazy.
The confidence, and you know what it can do. You know what it can do.
I kind of agree. I kind of like, I used to hate it when it was bumpy and stuff, and now it's just kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
It's kind of like almost laughable. It's like, oh, well, I'm getting tossed up, I get to ride the rodeo, but you get comfortable with your wing, I guess. I'd be way more comfortable after an SIV, but I'm comfortable enough with it that it is a fun ride.
There you go, Linda. You heard that right. If you want to ride the rodeo, Linda, you got to get on that paramotor.
I know.
I'd like to chime in on that if I could. I had a flight. Yeah, I had a flight that was very similar. I mean, I got 100 feet off the ground, and I just knew I was in trouble. And the wing was doing just what you were saying, Sean, was going forward and backwards, and it scared the heebie-jeebies out of me. And I got it on video, and
but it didn't fail you.
It did not fail me, but
right.
boy, I didn't know enough at that point. I certainly didn't have the confidence to be flying in those conditions. But long story short, everyone knows Kyle O'Glee. He looked at the footage and he said, "Hey, the wing was flying just fine. You weren't flying." And I mean, I was so terrified that I turned around and did a downwind landing. I mean, there's something about, I don't know what it is. The human whatever just wants to get back down on the ground, even though that's not the safest thing to do at that moment. But so yeah, Kyle said that no, the wing was flying just fine. And then another buddy of mine said, "Hey, the wing, it can at least handle that." And ever since that time, that actually was a confidence builder. I mean, to talk about bump tolerance increase, it really did, because I did trust my wing. I know that it could handle at least that. So, hey, I mean, it was a learning experience, but it was terrifying.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah.
Going back to your roller coaster, which I called porpoising, like a dolphin. Next time, I want you to do this. Next time you do it, make sure your leg straps are buckled nice and tight. Just as you get at the top of the porpoise and your wing shoots forward and you get light in your seat, slide out of your seat.
What?
I do it all the time. You will get an extra like half a second to 1 second of free fall. It's amazing.
I don't know about that.
Well, flying's awesome. I haven't been able to do this in a paramotor, but flying with my dad in fixed wing aircraft, you know, you have a stick. You can adjust your elevation very quickly. We fly low over fields. You got a power line coming up, going across the highway, no problem. Pull up, and dude, he can dip it down so hard and so quick. It's better than any roller coaster I've ever been on. As far as negative G forces, I mean, it feels like your stomach comes up through your mouth. You can't do that on a paramotor that I know of. But Will, I've got a question for you. You're talking about your confidence builder. You did a downwind landing after that nervous incident. How did that landing go?
Well, it landed. Fortunately, I landed in the grass at the airport, and fortunately, the grass was wet, so it was a belly slide in landing. You know.
Gotcha.
I got to tell you, because you told that story, and it's funny because I think it was 2 weeks ago. I was over there with Kyle playing around one day, and my wing had been pulling hard left for like the last 4 flights, and we looked that thing over and could not figure out what was going on. And he had a student there, a guy who was wanting to see a demonstration to see if he wanted to take the class, right? So it was just me and Kyle and this one guy. And I took off and I got up in the air and I made a couple of laps and it was kind of windy. All of a sudden, and I was only about maybe 100 feet off the ground because I was coming around and I was going to make a landing. All of a sudden, something felt like it broke underneath my butt. And I just dropped on, and I didn't know what the heck was going on. I did exactly the same thing. I came straight down, downwind landing, and I mean, I plowed it in too, buddy. And what it was is the strap that goes under the seat had a tension knot in it all this time. That's why I was pulling left all the time, and it came out as I was coming around. And I mean, it scared the daylights out of me. But I did. I plowed her in good. So I don't guess that guy probably took classes after that. I don't know.
Well, hey, Kyle said that the air will scare you, but the ground is what's going to hurt you. You know, that's another thing.
Yeah.
He said. That's true.
That was actually a pretty good demonstration. The young guy got to see a 65-year-old man come plowing in and not get hurt. So I guess that ought to be worth something, right?
There you go.
Absolutely.
You guys are awesome. I don't care what they say.
We don't either, Linda.
I love you guys. I will fly.
Hey.
Love you too, Linda.
I did. Walter. I just want all you guys to stay safe. That's all I care about.
Yeah. Walter loves you, Linda, differently than you love us, just so you know.
All right, guys. Since we're talking about
something, yes.
Since we're talking about bumps in your PPG Bible, there is a bump scale, and I want to go over the bump scale with you really quick. And in your mind, try to think of the worst bumps that you went through, and on a scale of 1 to 10, where you would rate that. So before I go through this bump scale real quick, Shane, what's the worst win that you went through the bumps, and what scale do you think that is between 1 to 10?
Unfortunately, before I went to the SIV, I thought I was in catastrophic hurricane. And really, it was just a casual, after SIV, it was just a casual everyday flight.
Just a tropical storm.
I was actually at the compound, and Jason, my buddy Jason Russell Smith was there, and I took off. I turned around. You got up maybe 50 feet, and the wind just completely was violent. And I turned around and came in downwind and did a 1-knee landing, kind of like you're sliding in the second base. And I landed and told him, I said, dude, don't go up. He flew for an hour and a half, came back and was like, I was hands-free most of the time. I was like, no way.
It seems to be a common theme. Get up in the air, too rough, freak out, land downwind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After the SIV course, I've flown in stuff 10 times worse than that, and I'm hands-free.
That's why I'm taking it. That's the exact reason I'm taking it right there.
Did you know when you realize how much you have to hang off of your lines to get it to collapse? I mean, you're just like, okay, I clearly overthought this.
So in your bump tolerance, what tolerance between a scale of 1 to 10 on a bump scale do you think that you can fly in right now, or that you have flown in?
What is the 1 to 10? 10 being worse?
Yeah, 10 being worse, 0 being completely smooth. Better.
I would say a 6.
That you've been in the 6? Okay. How about you, Keegan? You said that you fly in all sorts of fun stuff. What's the worst wind that you've been in, or the bumps, and what would you rate it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you describe the worst wind or bumps though, right? Like,
right. And just a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think? What's the worst that you've flown in, you think?
if 10 is like, this is unflyable and my wing will collapse regardless of what I do, then probably maybe like a 6, really.
Okay, so
I mean,
think
there's a lot of.
That's
I've
right.
flown in some pretty nasty stuff, but at the same time, I have a lot of faith that my wing could do a lot more.
Right. I'm going to go over the
correctly
the
done
scale that Jeff Goen has written in his book. Will, you said that you went through some bumps. You said too, and you landed downwind.
I did.
What's the worst bump that you had, and what do you think the scale would be on from 1 to 10?
Well, before that was clearly a 10 or a 12.
Right.
After that, I would have probably rate that about a 7.
Okay, so 6, 6, and 7. How about you, John Wayne? Have you been anything that's bumpy?
Oh yeah, I got some bad stuff once. And knowing what I know now, okay, probably about a 5.
5. So
Yeah.
6, 6, 7, and 5. How about you, Jordan Keys? Have you flown anything bumpy? And what's
yeah, the first time I test the roster freak, my man, that was like about 8, I think.
8.
And then I landed downwind, I jumped, and really my foot wanna get back, and I straight up. I don't know how I put up my foot, and I just scrapped all the fucking line. Look like I was doing foot drag.
Right.
That was oh my god, that was scary. That was when I bought the book of thermal flying from Cross Country Magazine, and I understand why and how. It wasn't too much the bump, but was because I was drifting left so bad, drifting left, and I go left, and everything was right. When I coming facing up the wind, I drifting back, but so fast the drifting to the left, and I was flying forward and drifting to the left, but so high speed. Then it's when I did 3 turns in that area, and then I got so scared on it, and I landed. I bought the book, I read the book, and then after that, right away, I took the SIV class, and then now I am about 6.
Okay.
Yeah, building it up.
And Walter, you've been through some bumps, but it's been a long time, right? Because you haven't flown.
Yeah, I'll give you. It was just after 10 o'clock, so the thermals were starting, and it was the first time I felt a thermal. And the problem was it was only the right side got the thermal, so it threw me out.
Right.
I thought, what the hell was that? Oh, you're into the thermals, Walt. Okay. The next one, I must have gone right into the center, and I got a VSI, vertical speed indicator, on mine. I was going up at 600 foot a minute. It was like a fast elevator. And in a 800, 900 pound machine, it's pretty awesome.
Okay. So what on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think your
that day I'd say it'd be 7 or 8.
7 or 8.
Never been going up that fast.
Okay.
Yeah.
So because everybody has a different scale of bump tolerance, Jeff Goen decided to make a bump scale, and it's in his book. I don't have this newest one. I got the one from before. What number is this? This is
Version 5.
Bible version 5, and this is on page 59. So here we go. Scale 0, completely smooth, butter. Okay.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You say page 59?
Page 59.
Yeah, everybody needs to get out the hymn books now.
Yeah.
On the bottom right.
Yeah, wait. Before you get into this, you didn't ask me mine, so I'm gonna volunteer it.
Oh,
Oh, did I not? I thought I did.
That's
Then I
okay.
apologize.
I actually keep a log book of every flight I take, and it has different columns for different information. And one of my columns is dedicated to a flight comfort level, and I use a 1 to 10 scale. It's
Okay.
inverted like the Olympics, so 10 is the best you can get, and 1 is the worst you can get.
Okay.
So a lot of days I'll fly, I'll get a 8, 9, or 10, just a butter smooth flight. The worst I've recorded is a 3. It was the one day that I actually thermaled. I went up at 1 p.m. and basically I landed as quickly as I could. It wasn't downwind. I was parked in one direction.
Chicken.
It was shaking all around. But yeah, I would say that the scale is subjective, and that's exactly what you're about to explain.
So yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So before you look at page 59, Brian, on a scale of 1 to 10, 0 being butter smooth, 10 being holy smokes, where do you think you were on that worst day on your bump scale?
Subjectively, based on the conditions I've flown in, I would put myself at a 6 or 7.
6 or 7. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the bump scale. This is the one that we all should actually be using because it's not per our own tolerance. It's per the book. Yeah, that's it. All right. So 0 is completely smooth. That's our butter smooth air that everybody loves. 1, getting jostled, no real flight, a change in flight path. So there's some bumps that you got. 2, causes small change in flight path, the most that new pilots should fly in. So that's the most that you'd want to fly in is if you're new would be a bump tolerance of 2. Bump tolerance 3, causes body to swing around 3 feet with no control input. Those are the ones that I thermal in. I feel that all the time. 4, causes moderate changes in flight path and body movement around 5 feet. Significant surge in treating with small tip collapses on high performance wings. So number 4, you're getting bumped around, swung around 5 feet, significant surges and tip collapses. So for you guys out there that said number 6 was the worst, did you have tip collapses?
At Swanee, I had 2 of them back to back.
Okay, you said
I reclassify mine as a 3 based on this scale.
Okay.
On,
right.
on my Roadster too, yeah, I've had tip collapses. So.
All right.
Yeah,
So
I've had a lot of those.
5 is very active air, causes small tip collapses even on beginner wings. That means that if you're on an A wing, you'd have tip collapses. That is pretty significant air.
Never been there.
Here's the number 6 that everybody was talking about. My wife just said good night, so I might have to leave pretty soon. This is number 6. Causes 50% collapses on high performance wings.
Wow.
So if you've ever done a 50% collapse by doing like an asymmetric, by yanking your A's down on one side, and that one is just hanging down there, that's a 50% collapse that the wind has done that you did not do. It just collapsed like that. That's a number 6.
Wow.
So for you that thought that a number 6 was, really bumpy and stuff, you probably were thinking more along the line of a 3. 7 causes 50% collapses even on beginner wings. So on your A wing, 50% would fall off. Between 8 to 10, this is increasing levels of dangerous where 10 is completely uncontrollable. On my worst flight that I ever had, that was on the leeward side of the mountain, which I didn't understand the leeward side back when I was younger in this, probably a couple months into this. You got, oops, that was me. Windward side. Okay, so you have a mountain. Windward side is where the wind comes and meets the mountain and goes up. Your leeward side is on the other side where you got a bunch of rotor. That is the worst I've ever been in. And on the scale where my wing was going all over the place, no 50% deflation. The worst that I thought that was, just the worst, probably was a 4.
Wow.
So I suggest that y'all, if you haven't done so already, is get Jeff Gowen's book. We actually did a podcast with him and he went over a lot of cool stuff. So if you want to go back and listen to when we
Did you?
Yeah, we interviewed Jeff. It was a really good podcast. You wish you were there, Brian.
Yeah, I do.
You didn't break your foot then. You were still in one piece. But yeah, go back and listen to our podcast with Jeff Gowen. It was really, really interesting. But yeah, wind, bump, it's all different for every one of us. Where one person goes, oh my God, that wasn't even flyable. It'd be like, that was like a 1 on the bump scale. But to them, it was like, not, 6, 7, or 8. It was just uncontrollable. So it's very interesting when it comes to the sport because wings do different things. My Roadster 3 to my Vantage 3, just those 2 wings, the Spider 3 that I've flown, and what was that other one? Some A wing that I've flown. All 4 of the wings that I've flown so far flew differently, and 3 of them were about the same size, about 28 meter. In different winds, they react differently. And as I found out in the SIV class that I took, the Gin Vantage, pulling the A's inward like this to do a horseshoe caused my whole front to collapse. And I dropped like a brick. That was the scariest part I've ever done. And that would not have happened on a Roadster 3 or a Spider 3. But anyway, you guys, it is 10:30 right now. Has your significant other yelled at you so that you got to go to bed like mine has?
Yes, mine has. So I'm out of here. Good night, guys.
Major's already in bed. He's snoring.
Okay. Keegan, it was a pleasure chatting with you. You're more than welcome to jump on with us anytime that you want to. Be a co-host if you want to. Just let me know and I'll let you in. You can be a co-host. We appreciate you. Was there anything that you wanted to say before we let you go? Anything that we missed that you wanted to talk about?
I've got a list here, and I think they're pretty much all crossed out. So we went through everything.
Okay, good deal. We'll have to talk about that .com and give me one of those strobes so I can check it out for you and help promote you. Just in case y'all did not know about the Paramotor Guy, Paramotor Girl, Paramotor Man, ParamotorWoman.com, what that is we are trying to help people getting more subscribers to the channel. Because if you go to like a YouTube channel right now, it's youtube.com/UN8LMB something, right? I mean, it's just it's hard to find new channels. So what we're doing is we are getting these .coms so we can forward these to people, build up their channel a little bit. And we also are promoting them on our channel. When we are doing this podcast, we'll have those links below. So every time that we do a podcast for the next 6 months, your link will be down there. We'll ask people to check them out and check out the winners and go to their YouTube and subscribe if that's what they wanted to do. So that's one of the reasons why we're doing that. We appreciate everyone that's on the panel. We appreciate everyone that's jumped on here with Walter and John Wayne, Will Fly. Appreciate you, Guy, and congratulations on winning. And we appreciate you, John Wayne, for the donations that you have given us, which actually helps us buy more fun stuff to give us to give things away. And after I'm done, using Keegan's flasher strobe thing, I will be giving that away also on a podcast. So
Good.
Show tonight. Thank you guys. Thank
we
you.
had a wonderful show. So anybody that wants to do a closing chat or say something that they want to chat, a plug for a URL or a domain for a person, a shout out to somebody you know and love.
Well, I am never
You got the
trust.
floor.
I am never trust a skinny chef. I've been gone for 4 days, and my wife told me it's time for a shower and go to bed. So on that note, peace out.
Peace.
Cheers, Shane.
Good night, everybody.
Anybody have anything they want to say?
Yeah, Keegan. It was really good interviewing you, man. It's always good to talk to a fellow mechanical engineer, I enjoyed hearing your story, and I look forward to hearing about your progress and your ideas that you come, that you're able to pursue as far as building paramotors or ideas for strobes and that kind of thing. So hopefully that you'll start posting some video on YouTube, and I'm already subscribed. So
Great.
I'll definitely be keeping up with you, man.
Nice talking to you as well, Brian.
Yeah, me too,
Yeah.
Keith. I'm going to subscribe.
Guys and Linda,
I love you all.
great show as always. Keegan, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well, sir.
Shane, when you put my package together to come to Australia, can you add something for me? I want
Shane already left. I don't think that he can do anything for you.
We'll pass the message along. What you want?
Sean, I meant Sean.
Walter.
Yeah, when you make my Australian package, can you include a quarter? There's a new quarter released over there of the Tuscan Airmen.
Oh, that's cool.
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
I did not know about that, but I'm
going to Alabama.
I'll check.
Yeah, Tuscan Airmen. A new coin just released, I think, yesterday in America. I'd love one of them if anyone.
Yeah, it would be the quarter more than likely.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
If anyone can acquire one of them and put it in a pack when I win something or buy something.
Yeah, I'll sell you one for 50 cents. No problem.
Your postage is going to cost a lot more than a quarter.
Yeah, it probably cost you $17 to send it.
Walter says, "Don't spit on the bananas."
No. Where's your wheelie bin? Where's your wheelie bin, Linda?
Don't spit on the bananas.
Well, Walter, if you win that $100, I'll send you the coin instead.
There you go.
No worries. And another thing, a set of line risers. Anyone got a second-hand set or an old set they don't want? I suppose it's hard to come by.
I don't know. What's an email that somebody could get up with you if they're still listening?
Captain4671@gmail. It's on my.
Can you say that? Can you say that slower, please?
Can you see my?
Yeah,
picture?
for people that are listening.
Yeah, Captain4671@gmail.com.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of coins, can anybody see this one?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's an aviator. Yeah.
Yeah.
Real gold.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
So you pick it out. So
Yeah.
Aviator has this tradition for their graduates. They give them a coin upon solo, and it's kind of like the military. They give a coin.
Yeah.
So when you go to a bar, if one person pulls out their coin and challenges the rest of their group from Aviator graduates, everybody has to pull a coin out. And whoever doesn't have their coin has to buy the drinks.
Oh.
If everybody has their coin, the person that initiated the challenge has to buy their drink. So good story.
There you go. There you go.
I do have a shout out real quick. Let me run back over here, make sure that I'm saying it right. To Jim Simnard, Simard. I hope I'm saying it right. Lives in Canada. He has been listening to our podcast all the way to the very end and has emailed me every time that he's listened to the very end, because at the very end of our podcast, I don't know if you listened all the way to the end of the podcast, I always say, if you're still here, email me at ppggrandpa@gmail.com. Let me know that you made it to the end of the podcast and I'll send you something. So Jim, a shout out to you, and we will get you something out in the mail. So thank you very much for listening to us.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome. I mean, that's awesome. The good thing about the internet, we got people listening from Australia, Canada.
Yeah.
That's cool, no doubt.
And listening to us for 4 hours. I was like, what do you do? A lot of them are truckers, and they have nothing.
I still don't get that. I couldn't listen to any podcast for 4 hours. I don't know what it's about, but I do enjoy sitting here chatting with y'all, and 4 hours goes by really quick usually.
Yeah.
Usually. So
Jim,
that was a shout out to you. So Jim, that was a shout out to you. So thank you very much for listening to us. So far, I think you are one of our #1 fans. We appreciate you. Anybody else have anything before we say goodbye to the world until next week?
Yeah, I want one of Keegan's Strobes.
What's that?
I want one of Keegan's Strobes. That looks pretty good. I'm going to order one, Keegan. I'll look it up.
Yeah,
okay.
he said to mention that you saw it on this podcast, and he'll give it to you for $10 off.
No worries, even better. Pay for
Yeah,
it.
I was wanting to ask Keegan, is he going to K-State or?
I am. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I got about 8 years in there at Fort Riley.
Oh yeah.
I've often thought that would be an interesting place to fly with the wind out there.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's Tuttle Creek's beautiful.
John, do you foot launch?
Yeah.
At 65, there's a chance for me yet.
That's all I've ever done. I've only been flying about a year.
Well, with a name like John Wayne, anything's possible, right?
Yes.
There's a story behind that. I grew up on an Indian reservation. I was the only white kid in the school,
Really?
and all the little Indians all wanted to whoop John Wayne's butt, and did rather often.
Oh my goodness.
That's funny.
I love you, John.
Well, good times, guys.
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody's time on the show tonight. Sean, thank you for hosting the show and allowing me to tag along.
Yeah.
But
And I appreciate everything you do, helping me in the chat and helping me, with all the things that are going on in the background. I really could not do it without you, Brian, or Shane, or Linda. Linda, you help book pretty much everybody. So thank you, Linda. We appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys. You're my family. You know that.
Jane, you do a good job.
Walter,
Shane-
I love you.
Shane does a good job.
You're
Yes,
my
yes, he
family.
does.
You're my
You
family.
do. You do.
Yep.
well, peace
It's a
out,
good
guys.
show.
Hey, I'm gonna
Yeah.
bail.
Hey, got a bail. I love
Me
it.
too. We'll see y'all
you
later.
next Monday. Keegan, nice to meet you, sir.
Nice
y'all
to meet you as
later.
well.
Will Fly, thank you for joining us too, brother.
Thank you. We'll see you next week.
Nice meeting you, Will.
Same here.
Sean, I'll get your strobe sent out, and
Oh yeah, you got my phone number, right?
I don't think I do.
If not,
But I can
I will-
email you, right?
I will text it to you real quick through Messenger, I guess.
Sounds good.
Keegan, there you are. Man, we talk a lot, don't we?
Thank you,
We're like
David.
best buds. There you go. I just texted it to you.
All right.
This was fun.
Man, I can't believe that you made it all the way to almost 11 o'clock. I told you it'd be like 4 hours. Like, sure, 4 hours, no problem. You're like, no, it'll never go 4 hours. It doesn't go 5 hours because we all have significant others that are like, no, you got to go to bed.
Oh, this was
All
awesome.
right. Well, I'm going to sign off then. Been
Yeah.
nice speaking with everybody. But
And we'll catch you later. Thanks a lot, man. Have a good one. Appreciate you.
Awesome.
And now it's just Walter and Linda. They still don't want to go. I say, come on, we got to go. They're like, no.
Oh.
No.
Love you guys. I love
So
you
have
guys.
a great evening and thank you so much.
It's only 3:13 here.
It's like quarter to
Walter.
11 and I'm in trouble already. So
Ah.
Cool.
have a,
Okay. We're going to say
All right.
it. We're going to say
bye.
Tuesday's coming your way, people.
Yep.
Tuesday. Yes. Thank you, Walter,
Yep.
for the prediction.
Cheers, everybody. Great
Cheers.
meeting.
Peace out.
Thank you.
Don't forget paragliding talk.
.com.
And Paramotor and ParaMomUSA.com.
Gotcha. Love you guys.
No, she got demoted.
Okay.
She got demoted, Shane. See you, everyone.
All right,
Love ya.
bye.
Bye.
Love you too.
Peace.
All right.